I finished my Nemo's War.
I saw.
Yes, I got to watch that. Yep.
So,
Again, I'm not sure if it's my sort of thing, but I will, give it a watch. Be watching it.
it's fun. It's a fun game. I like it. I enjoyed it. There's so many options to it. I could probably play it again, even using the same options I did, and have a different result. It's fun. So, it's a fun game. I like it. I enjoyed it.
Sorry, I was starting the stream up, so go ahead.
I thought it was me.
Huh?
I thought it was me. I thought it was my screen. Oh, let me grab the light.
I was just.
I preferred it that way, Tony. Keep it dark.
Oh, did you go darker then?
Yeah, it was good.
No, I just know after the sun gets too far, it gets dark in here. So,
Steeler fan.
Hey, Steeler fan. Hex to Hex. Hey, Hex, I started.
Oh, okay. They're all coming
turn
in.
14. OG. Started turn 14 this morning, so hopefully I'll have that video tomorrow. We've got turn 14 of Rock of the Marn up. As much as I complained about that game, it's actually turning out pretty good.
Talk to us about the game, Tony. Talk to us about Rock of the Marn, because just to kind of let everyone know what's going on. You got into that game, and it was like 3 weeks of, this game. I don't know about this game, but now all of a sudden you got excited. So what happened?
The allies really started to make some maneuvers in, and looking at it, it's like, I don't know I could sit there and go through and count, but I don't want to. I want to see the victory points at the end. I don't want to know what's going to happen before it ends. It's like, if you record a sports game, knowing what the final score is, why bother watching it? So, I just want to play it as if I don't know what the score is. So after I started realizing that the allies were really pushing in up on the north side, I'm like, ooh, this could go either way. Do I have enough time to clear out some of the stuff from the south? But yeah, the first probably half of the game, I'm like, why am I playing this? This is so boring.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be snarky. I'm just asking serious. Would this scenario be better if they just got rid of the first 6 turns?
And actually, I think so. Well, after playing it, I see why they did it. I see why they did it.
Just lead up to what you need to do,
and there are a few scenarios. So this is the campaign, and so there are a few scenarios that do that you can start later on in the game and stuff like that. You can start after the Allied offensive, or there's a couple other scenarios, and but you have to. So now that I've played the whole game pretty much all the way through, I understand why they did what they did with the first half. You got to be aggressive with the Germans, because if you're not, you won't have a chance. If I wasn't as aggressive as I was, I could easily have called it already. But since the Germans really cleared out and punched a hole right through the lines and really cleared out a lot of Allied units, it took them until 11, 12, 13, 14 turn to get moving. And now that they're moving, it's like, okay, am I going to have enough time to really get enough victory points? So
how many episodes or videos have you done of that?
I know the first 2 turns I did like 2 videos per turn, so I'm up to about 15, 16, something like that.
It's going on longer than Peyton Place. I just want to know what's going on. I could have said Coronation Street there, but you guys wouldn't have known what I was talking about.
Right? No, we wouldn't.
I would say, and no, I was, and I'll admit, I was ready to give up on it, but I was like, no, let's go through. I mean, Hex to Hex was really big about, no, you got to play it through. It gets interesting. Keep going. And so I was like, okay, I'll keep going. And now I'm glad I did. So I've cleared off Nemo's War. I'm putting up SPQR tomorrow.
Good.
So I probably won't do the boot camp version. I kind of thought back about how I want to do that. I probably will eventually. But what I'll do is I'll go through the rules, like I'll go through each step, this like how I would learn. So I'm going to go sequence of play, and the first couple videos, explain deeply how it works, what you need to do, and I'm going to use that learning scenario to do that. Yeah,
because I want to get up a GBOH game as well, but I'm waiting for you to get yours up so I can learn how to play it.
I'm excited about Agincourt, by the way. I really enjoyed that.
It gets worse. It gets worse, but it's a great system. It is like Great Battles of History light, because you've got certain similarities, activations of leaders and all that sort of thing, and you can trump them with the seizure counters and all that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a great great system, and also different eras to Great Battles of History. But I've got to just have a shout out to Hex to Hex. It's his fault, people show these things on their videos and then I go and want to get them. I'm looking at a copy of Hell's Highway that's on eBay at the moment, so we'll see, because I've got all retro again, as you'll see if we show what we got this week. So thanks, Hex to Hex.
Well, I think Tony, well, I guess I brought it up, but I think this is a good discussion at some point to have. We don't maybe necessarily need to have it today, but I found that certain games include the scenarios, and they make the scenarios a lot bigger than they should, where the first half of the scenario really doesn't do anything other than set up the second half. So why did I even play? Why did I even bother to spend all that time playing the first half of the game when that wasn't really, it didn't really matter?
Was it the nature of that war, the First World War, that it went like that? There was all set up and maneuvering, and
I think it was this particular battle. They didn't want the Allies, because I think it kept to kind of a historical feel, because the Allies couldn't do anything until a certain day. And so I think they really restricted them because of that, because they didn't have the troops. I mean, I totally forgot to add some reinforcements that I added later, but realizing they probably weren't going to make much of a difference anyways. And they were the Brits. The Brits came in late, about 2 turns.
If it's busy having tea.
It's tea time. Yeah.
Tea time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, what I thought was funny is I was like looking at the dates. This happened in July. My birthday is July 20th, and one of the dates is July 20th. So I'm like, oh, this is my birthday. So, but I think going through from now on, when I record something, I'm probably going to look through the scenarios more than the campaign, because this has been a long. I mean, I got distracted with the Hunters, our challenge.
Yeah, I know.
So I think that it almost went too long for me for videoing. I think I've lost some interest. So like I was averaging about 50 to 60 views on the first couple turns, or the first actually 10 turns, and now it's more like 20 or 30.
That's what
I think it might be. Yeah. So I think and Jester, I actually thought about that from something you did when you did the Panzer battles, and you just did one of the smaller scenarios. I really think that would be something that I would do. And then somebody made a comment on your Ruff, on your video for the Panzer Grenadier. No. Well, yeah, because I usually comment, so I was reading it, and he made sense that you could probably do a video every 5 turns.
Oh, that was Todd. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was Wardrobe talking about Panzerleader, because they go on a bit them scenarios. Yeah. But some talking about comments about the one I did, Crowbar. I cut that short because I said that they were going down, and people have got the idea how the game works, and you're going to get it, but just how well you win, I suppose. But he said, I'm one that would have watched more of it. So, there you go. The 20-odd people that watched right to the end are the ones that really wanted to watch it. So you made it for them, and so it's a fine balance.
Yeah, I think I would do some smaller scenarios, like if I get something like that. Because I was looking at the scenarios, and there were a few that I was like, oh, I could have done this after the start, or so you can do just like kind of the allied push, which is the most interesting part of this game. I'm not gonna, the Germans running over the Allies the first 6 turns, it didn't do anything for me. I really liked how the allied push. So some people would like the first part of the game and like the whole setup. Personally, I would have liked, okay, let me just get into it. And I think I would have been done already. And I would have been more excited about it.
But that's what I'm tending to do now, is to pick smaller battles or scenarios, as in Men of Iron. That's a nice little map, great big counters, easy to video, and it's a sort of bloody quick game. And might be 2 or 3 videos, and that's I think is enough for people to get the idea. And I think I'll do that with every, if I can, or if not, I'll do like Hex to Hex or Kevin, do a sort of start to move and then come back and say, well, I've moved, like a after action, sort of mini after action reports, rather than doing the whole thing. So we'll see how we go. It's early days, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, well done on doing it and not giving up on it.
Yeah, you'll find your videos. The more there are in a series, the more people drop off. It's just human nature. People lose interest.
And the people that
watch some, they go, "Oh, I know how to play it now. I don't want to." Or some people might just go, "I don't want to see how this turns out because I want to play it and do it myself too." So you lose. You just, the more you go,
"Oh, the game's not for me." Which is
why I usually do 2 or 3 videos and I put it away, because I'm like, yeah, I'm done with it. Nobody else is going to want to watch it, so they could just figure out what happens afterwards. Even though Tony gives me a bunch of crap about how I never finish anything.
That's good fun. I get it. You don't have the space either to keep things up.
Yeah. You notice back there on my chair.
Get rid of that chair.
Right there used to be a nice sheet of glass with my 80 and Abyss. And that's gone, put back in the box now. So if I don't get it done in a week or 2, I just have to put it away, because
I'm lucky that I've got this. I've got the space. I've got probably a good niche. I have 2 desks out, so I can keep things up for a little bit longer.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
I got the what's it called, Warriors of God, that I got to try to finish up before, because every time the wife comes in the room, she tries to go back in the corner there. There's a right there. There's a like a shredder and stuff, and she keeps tripping over all my damn pieces and knocking them all over the place, and
accidentally on purpose. Yes.
But fortunately, they're not in any spots right now, so just kind of sitting on the map. Yeah, and then if I have things on my desk, we've gone through that. I'm not going to go through it again. Here, speaking of the devil, look at who we go again.
Here he is.
I mean, dude doesn't put out any videos because he's changing his icon every other day.
And his name.
Yeah. He's got to recreate everything from scratch every other day, so he never puts out any videos. But no, seriously, he's doing a really good series now on the miniature, introduction to the miniature game. So we'll have to get him on our live chat so we can talk to him about that. Really good.
Really?
Yeah, I watched the first one this morning. Yep.
Yeah, we love Toddy. We just I don't know about the dude that actually, is in the narrator or whatever. We don't know about him, but we love Toddy.
That cracked me up. I watched that and I laughed out loud so hard.
Yeah,
gee, mister.
Yeah, it's good. Good that people like Wardrobe are doing things about our.
We're going to start taking our abuse again here. Mad D Dog. Mad D Dog. Yeah, so Wardrobe, he's going to start a new video series, so we'll have to follow along with that and check it out. And I'm not a big miniatures guys.
I'm not, but hey,
but a lot of people are. So we'll have to let people know about it so they can go check it out.
It's fun to watch. There's they have actually a miniatures kind of. Actually, it was supposed to be last month, but here in my neck of the woods, actually at a historical battlefield or fort over here from the War of 1812. But they do a miniatures like kind of convention, and you can go in and watch. And I had fun watching it. I didn't really want to get into it, but it was fun to watch. I'm like, give me my cardboard counters, I'm good.
Well, yeah, but
it was a blast to watch.
Yeah.
And some people got really creative. They were playing a naval game with miniatures, and when they fired, they put like cotton to make it look like smoke. And yeah, they did some pretty cool stuff with it.
Yeah, I think if I ever did miniatures again, it would be naval battles, because that'll be not so much of a big sort of project. You know, a blue cloth and a few boats. Even those the flat ones you can get,
the top up minis, yeah,
minis and things like that. But that's the sort of thing I would do with ships, maybe even sail ships, maybe down the line one day. Who knows?
You need a lot of room because maneuvering and moving ships, and
I would, yeah. My ships would have to be about that big, so a little table, you know.
Table. We're mentioning table.
And she's gone upstairs. All right.
Okay, so we can mention table.
Yeah, 2 of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they both there yet?
Oh yeah, they're here. I was just going to make. I want to get it down this end of the room, sort of temporary, because I've got a room that I can have a room, and but we've got to clear a load of crap. It's the crap room. Every house has got one. Yeah, where all the crap goes.
That's my kids' room.
Yeah. So yeah, once that's done,
we don't have a crap room.
No, but all right. Most people have a.
We don't have the space for crap room.
No, well, I didn't when we moved in. I had a lot of crap, but so with that, when that gets cleared and sorted and whatever, I can get this table up, because you've got another table coming in. So I'm having this one plus my 2 tables and my bits of plexi that I got. I should be sorted. Nobody will see me ever again. I'll come out the room, my son will go, who's that strange man with a beard and no hair? He talks a bit posh, my son. Yeah. You got any stuff this week? Did you get any bits and pieces? Any new games? Any other stuff coming?
I ordered something from eBay, and it's right up your alley, Ruff. I should be getting it Wednesday.
Oh, you're keeping Stum, are you? Keeping Mum?
It's similar to what you did about opening a box, an unboxing of. Same series.
Oh, right. Well, okay. I could stab a guess. Probably. Ah! No,
yeah.
You got it off of eBay?
Yep.
Is this the one you've been waiting for? Or is that something else?
I don't know.
Because you're waiting for a certain coloured animal, wild cat. No, it's not the black. Is it Black Panthers? The module?
Oh no, yeah, no, it's not that. That's not out yet. I'm still waiting for that.
Oh,
but nobody's gotten that. Nobody's gotten that one yet. But it's on the same line. Same. It's a Panzer Grenadier module.
It might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Slovakia module, because that just a lot of that Eastern European that area, the Slovakia and Czechoslovakia and Slovakia, that whole area just interests me, period. And so they have a module just for that. So I bought one of the 2 modules you need to play that.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's the problem with the ones I got. I haven't got all the modules, but I bought them because they're out of print, and I must be able to play 2 or 3 of them with what I've got. But I'm always on the lookout. So they're up on the shelf waiting. But I got.
Oh.
The spiral bound ones too.
No, I wanted. I know it's on PDF, and even David Heath and OG were going, you get it on PDF, and Mo. And I said, I know I've got it on PDF, but I've got it. Got the real thing. And as OG's in, this is his fault again, along with a couple of other games I've got. But I picked up a really decent, cheaply priced copy of Unpunched.
Ah, you have to have an unboxing.
Yeah, they'll be. Oh God, yeah. It's had a bit of sellotape on the back. So it looks like it's been bought, sellotaped, and put away because everything is untouched again. And I've checked the rule book, and it's all there. But yeah, so there's a couple little bits of tape, but I got it for such a good price that yeah, it's your fault, OG. Watching your playthroughs. And the other one I got this because my dad had this, and it's
Sealer.
The Invasion of Britain. It comes in I'm not sure. I think it should have come in a box, but I got this for a few quid. It was next to nothing. And this is the UK version of it, I think. And the UK version map has all the charts on the map. So all you do, even if it was in a box, all you got was the map and the count. Yeah, well, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. That's, yeah, what else? Yeah, Ambush. Patton's Best, yeah. Panzer Leader. They're all down to you, OG, all down to you. But yeah, all you get in this is the map, the rules, and the counters. So even with a box, it will be wrapped in about. And I'm quite happy that'll go on my shelf. Again, unpunched. Couple of quid. Not bad. So that's my goodies.
Awesome. That's really good.
What did you get, Jester? Anything? Apart from the stuff, are you going to show the stuff you got yesterday in case the people won't?
Oh my God, I got like 4 boxes of stuff, but not one of them's a war game. And this, of course, your definition of a war game is different.
If you think it's a war game, when you play it, it's a war game, as somebody more educated than me said.
Really?
Yeah. And that's a great thing to, that's the, you know. If you think it's a war game when you're playing it, it's a war game.
Yeah, I don't know. They weren't, there weren't that many good war game sales, and a lot of the other companies were having pretty good sales. So I decided just to pick up a few things that I need. So I picked up, well, I know there's a couple presents for me under the tree. And so what I was like being smart, right? So I'm like, I'm going to order all the expansions. So that way, when I open up on Christmas, I'll have all the expansions and everything ready to go.
You haven't, oh, well, yes, you've got your little table. You see, I've got to sort something out before Christmas because this is the table we have had dinner on. We haven't had dinner on a table for a year. So, yeah. Luckily, my son's at an age where we don't see him. He's stuck in his room 24/7, so we don't see him, and we just sit and eat and watch telly when we eat, you know. So it's good. Oh, the other thing I got, which is weird because somebody mentioned the game manufacturer on TACUP. It's a game, I think it's called Marine 2002, a sci-fi war game set on the moon, made by Yaquinto. Let me get it up. 1979. I've got an unpunched copy of that on its way again because it was next to nothing. Probably why it was next to. I don't know anything about it. Marine, yeah, Yaquinto. Yeah, Marine 2002. So it comes with 3 boards, and it's unpunched. Yeah, it looks quite fun actually. So that's on its way. I've got all retro again. I can't help it.
I see. It's like if it was like 1990 or earlier, you're like all about it now all of a sudden.
Yeah. It's just.
So there's a reason why those games are next to nothing.
It could be. You could be right. But Sixth Fleet isn't in that category, I don't think.
No. I just, yeah.
But I won't know till I get it. But
they fit in the recycling bin just perfectly.
That's right.
And if it isn't any good, I'll keep it unpunched and pass it on, you know. So, but yeah, yeah. Yaquinto is an old game manufacturer. There are not too many of their games about now. But
speaking of which, like OG was doing something on his channel. That was like Green Goblins from an old menu.
Yeah.
And
on there.
bringing back, so it's like everyone's bringing back some oldie but goodies.
Well, as you get older, you see, you start yearning.
Oh, it was Dwarf Star. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name, but
Yeah.
if you watch this video, he actually has a link to, so Dwarf Star, they produce for, 8, 10, 20 games, whatever it was, but some of them now are out of print and you can't find them, but you can actually download them for free and print and play them.
Found that, yeah. I found that. I heard Dwarf Star is pretty good. There's about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. So if you watch this video, he links in there. And if you just go to Google and do a search for Dwarf Star, so you can still play some of the older, and some of them are solitaire before solitaire and even was a thing. So that's pretty cool.
I'll hopefully just put it up. But yeah, you can download all their games. But to get the actual game, it costs a bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it looks really good. The map's great. I love the map.
Yeah.
Make them better looking now than you can if you bought the game, like, because the printers are so much better now. But I did get one thing for my computer. I finally got a external hard drive so I can save all my videos, so I'm not sucking up my actual computer hard drive.
Save your videos?
Why do you want to keep your videos?
Yeah, why are you keeping your videos?
Chap, why?
Just in case something happens. I don't know.
Like YouTube explodes and everything's gone?
Yeah, something like that. Ardwolf lost some videos.
So you can go back and upload them again?
Hey, that's an idea. A novel idea. Or if something else comes out that's competitive with YouTube, because it sounds like there's some serious stuff going on with that. I don't know if you guys have heard.
Yeah, I know. I get comments all the time. Yeah, they're you watch out. They'll be putting adverts on your videos soon. Unless I think if you've manually opted out of them, they will put them on your video, whether or not you are entitled to have them and will get paid for them. So I think if you're under 1,000 subs, you aren't allowed to sign up for that. But they're going to be putting them on people of less than 1,000 subs and not paying them. So they could get interrupted by
I used to enjoy watching videos, but now it's like every 3 minutes there's a freaking break for a freaking commercial. And it takes like 10 seconds for the commercial to load. So you're sitting there waiting for this stupid thing to load. And then it's usually like a 15-second commercial that you can't click skip on. Oh, is this going to be my rant for the day? Maybe.
Hey, I'm right there with you on this one. I get so tired. It's like I'm watching Ruff. He's about ready to do something, and then boom. It's like they know when something's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just stupid. It's just.
I know, but it helps a little bit. I got my tables with it. So I'm not. We do this for free, and it's. I know and I get annoyed when
I'm not saying anything against the creators. What I'm saying is, it used to be before they would only run 1 or 2 ads for, say, a half-hour video. Now you run a half-hour video, you got like 8 breaks.
Yeah.
It's not like 2 or 3 like it used to be, and you're not getting paid any more as a YouTuber than you were before. They're just putting out more crap because people are so used to it now.
And the fact they're doing it to people that aren't signed up to that thing could mean that they're getting desperate for money. I don't know, or whatever.
You're gonna go get Cool Whip.
They're all coming on. See, your wife came on. We've just seen a glimpse of Jester's missus. My one threatening to come on as well.
Okay.
Go on, Del.
Come on, last week.
Why are you looking at me?
Well, you're all dressed up. I was like, why is she all dressed up?
I just put it.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. Why don't we have any? She's going to get me Cool Whip because she made a like a pumpkin casserole thing, and I told her I have to have whipped cream with it, so she's going to the store.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Cool Whip. Oh, you don't watch Family Guy then, right? Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
Yeah, Cool Whip.
Stewie.
watch Family Guy. I
Stewie,
think
hey, can you say cool?
isn't that a cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Adult
I
cartoon.
don't watch cartoons, so I haven't watched cartoons since I was like 8 years old.
It's a grown-up cartoon. I wouldn't let
There's no such thing as a grown-up cartoon. It's still a cartoon.
Anyway, yeah. Cool Whip. Okay.
Well, the one thing I said is I was going to cut off watching TV, and I did quite a bit, and I put out a ton of content this week because of it.
I watched TV in maybe 2 hours in the last 6 months, max. I never watch TV anymore.
I can't find anything to watch anymore, and if it is, it's crap. I'm like, I could be playing a game right now.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
It is a bit.
I think that was when I pulled out Nemo's War for the second time. I said, hey, I did kind of the live stream was kind of, it wasn't that great. I'll admit it, because the camera wasn't wide enough. And if you get too far away, you can't see much. So I was like, I want to do a better job at that. And so that's why I did the recording version of it. And I knew it was a quick game. It's a lot shorter when you're not recording it, by all means. I think if you added the total up, it's almost about an hour and a half. I think you could do an hour if you weren't to record it, because you could just chuck through the stuff pretty easily. But I think it's kind of fun to record it, and yeah.
Yeah, and why not? Yeah, I mean, I wish I could, as we talked about yesterday in our impromptu chat we had.
I wasn't invited, so I didn't know about it.
I did, well, we knew you were working.
Yeah, that's right. Actually,
Well, here's the thing. Me and Ruff decided to get together, right? And there was like the little brother that didn't get to come out and play. And he's standing behind the tree, looking over, waving at everyone like, hi, remember me? Like literally every 5 minutes, here comes Tony posting in our war group. I think he had class with us on because he wanted to make sure we weren't talking about him or something.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I bet you did.
Not.
Yeah, he had it on his phone.
It's like, can I come out and play? Why are you guys going to play? Aren't you going to invite me? So, anyways, for those of you who don't know, we're running early today because Tony had to alter our schedule. So don't blame me for a change. I'm innocent. Woo.
For a change.
For a change. It's not my fault. And it just so happens the Ohio State-Michigan game was canceled.
Oh, I about to throw a fit when that happened. Like, it's the only way Michigan can actually win is just to not play.
Yeah, would have been nice if they got to play, but yeah. So, and then you're wearing a Michigan baseball team shirt. So.
Yeah, the Detroit Tigers. You know, I live in Toledo. I'm closer to Detroit than Cleveland or Cincinnati. Grew up listening to Ernie Harwell. You know. Yep.
Well, there's still no excuse for that. None whatsoever.
Hey, you're a St. Louis fan.
If Toledo is represented today, or if you're watching, you all need to get together and throw Tony out.
Will you stop? Sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. I feel like Tony there, you see, left out.
Half the time you say something, we don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, we still put up with it.
No, but it's good that you're making more videos, Tony. It's good.
Yeah, and the nice thing is right now I'm getting up early enough because I have to get my daughter on her virtual classroom, and my day doesn't start till a little bit later, so I'm able to knock something out in the morning before. And then usually once school's over with, the kids are kind of doing their own thing, and I've got a good hour to do something. So instead of wasting my time with TV and other, I guess I'll play Magic the Gathering, the arena for a little while, every once in a while. Well,
yeah, we'll have to have a match. What's your favorite?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? What deck are you using?
I use a white deck.
Life Game.
That, and I found a red deck I really liked.
I use Cleric. Clerics is my favorite. I've got a Clerics deck, which I like.
I like red white together. To me, that's fun.
Yeah.
So I saw you do something with that. I've got to watch that video.
Don't watch the first one because I played it wrong. So,
Steel,
right, so there's a big discussion in chat about you and the Marn. So why don't you gloss over that again so that those people don't have to go back and rewatch everything? And I hate for them to miss out on that important information.
Yeah, so I was having issues with it because it just started so slow. The first half was boring to me. It was just the Germans running over the Allies. So about 2 turns it was fun, and then it was just annoying. But within the last 3 turns, it's gotten really exciting, and I've really started to enjoy it. So I would probably, if I were to do it over again, not play that full campaign. I'd play the scenario with the Allied start. So that's where it is. I'm enjoying it now. I really am. It's really fun now. I started recording turn 14, so I've only got 2 more turns, and I still don't know who's in the lead or what's going to happen. I really don't care who wins, but I just kind of want to see the result of what happens. Will the Allies get enough victory points to win it or not? So
what's your? I've got only got the one Africa, the Africa 1 SCS game. Remember when Kev was on, he was sort of like about it. Now you've played it, what's your opinion?
It's good for what it does. And it's not as a historical simulation. It's a game. It's more of a game than a historical simulation. Right. And it's kind of, put the counters down and go. There's not, a whole lot to it. But, and that's what the whole idea was. It wasn't, since they had OCS, which is, the higher level, they wanted something that wasn't that high.
Yeah.
And it honestly, I loved the Mighty Endeavor. I had a lot of fun with that one, and I recorded some of that. Really had a lot of fun with that. That was a barn burner. That was a brain burner. I didn't even do the expansion. I just did the original map. And to me, I had a lot of fun. So I was like, oh, I'm going to get more SCS games. And I think depending on what the topic is, I would go for it. This was a World War I, so it was something different. I know the Africa one's pretty good. I've heard really good reviews on that one. So I do want to do that one, but I probably won't do a campaign again. I'll probably just do a scenario or 2 from it if I'm recording it. If I were to just chuck... So because when I record, it takes me... I could probably chuck through the Rock of the Marne. Most of my videos are around 30 minutes to get through a turn. If I wasn't recording, I'd probably be done in 15 minutes. I could probably sit down and do the whole game in 4 hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours. But since I'm recording it and I explain a few things, I want to make sure the camera's doing the right things and recording things. But I really do like the game now. It's just that first 6 turns, the first 2 turns was, oh, this is great. And then it just went downhill from there until about turn 10 when the Allies really started to get a foothold and started moving forward. And I probably would just do, like I said, I'd probably just do the scenario with the Allied assault.
Yeah.
Because, you're right in the teeth of it. It's right there. They cut the map down too. So it's only 27 columns. So it's a smaller area. I really think, that would be fun to do. But yeah, I was really struggling with it, but I'm like, oh, come on, let's get this. Now I'm past that point where I'm like, yeah, okay, Steeler fan, I'll stop.
So I was about ready to say, thank you for doing your short recap 5 minutes later.
You guys know me. I get talking and I keep going.
Wow.
Yeah, but when we were on, and you weren't yesterday, you were texting like you talk. We couldn't shut you up, But one of the things you said was, okay, I won't talk until I'm asked to, and then I'll be short and to the point. So you're a liar as well, then, are you?
Yep.
I
tried to, but I didn't want to seem like I was mad. See, I was like, I was going to do that just to have fun with you guys. But then I'm like, oh, they're going to think I'm mad at them because I'm not talking.
We know you're mucking up.
I know you're mad at us because, like, I sent out the email at 2:15. We were starting at 2:30. And Ruff, who never shows up until like 2 minutes beforehand, he shows up in 10 minutes later. So literally, I was sitting here for 10 minutes. Nobody was connecting 5 minutes before the show.
Yeah, but I got the email 10 minutes after you sent it. And then when we were on in the green room, you heard my phone go ding. And I said, oh, I've just got it on my phone. So it has to come a long way, doesn't it? Cross the sea.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't go electronically, through satellites and instantaneously arrive or anything like that. I might as well just, use the post office and let you know and just mail you a letter.
It might be quicker than your email, yeah. But we got there. We got there.
Yeah.
Oh, talking about
even when you joined, I'm like, where's Tony? Ruff's like, oh, he'll be here. I'm like, I don't know. We're starting in like 2 minutes. He's never this late. I think he's mad at us. Ruff's like, oh no, he's got family things. He's probably doing something. I'm like, no, I think he was mad because he didn't get invited yesterday to our live chat. Because I don't know, he mentioned it 12 times in his text.
I was giving you guys crap just to give you guys crap because I was stuck at work.
And we're done. Yeah.
And do you work Monday?
Yeah, I work Monday, Tuesday. I work all the next week. Yeah.
That's too bad.
It's shorter days because it's exam week.
We'll have another one of our sessions.
It's a shorter day because of exam week, so I'll be grading, which is just as bad as actually grading is the worst thing as a teacher. If you're a teacher out there, grading is the worst thing that you do. I hate grading.
I used to do that. It's horrible. Yeah, marking exam or marking projects or whatever. But because technically I'm a tutor, not a teacher. I'm self-employed, so if I don't teach, I don't get paid, and it's not winding down. So I've got no work. I think we've got one lesson next week, and that's it. What's that?
He got an A. Ooh, this kid got a D. Ooh, this kid failed.
It would be really funny.
Another A. That's
the truth.
Simple as it is. It doesn't take too long.
Yeah. That would be funny if it wasn't quite near the truth, Tony?
Yeah, and the parents that would complain, I give them like a +6 DRM on a 6-sided dice.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, I do take my grading very seriously. As much as I want to, I do take my grading seriously when I do grade exams. Homework, not so much. Homework, the way I do it, it's did you do it or did you not do it? I don't really, I don't. We go over it. But when it comes to tests, I take my time.
Slapdash. No wonder the educational thing of the world's coming down.
Kids in Toledo don't stand a chance, do they?
No, they don't. They're dumbing down the kids because they can't be bothered to mark their homework. What is the world coming to?
Oh, you did something good. I'll give you a participation trophy. Congratulations.
Yeah.
But when my exams are 70% of the grade, whether they do all their homework or not doesn't help. Well, it helps, but yeah.
By a third, yeah. You can't talk. You talk teach to me, mate. I know all the little wrinkles. Don't you worry. Back to Ardwolf.
Yeah.
Ardy, what's he up to? I know he's got his war games for sale, isn't he?
He's got his war games for sale. So yeah, we thought we'd just talk about it for a second to let anybody know if they're interested. Check out Artwolf Lair. He's got a whole bunch, probably 30 or 40 games. Really good pricing. So he's having some sales there. If you want to check out his video and check out what he's got, if you're into if you're into some of the games he's got for sale, he's getting a pretty good price on them too. He's got some pretty rare ones as well. Or I guess maybe not rare isn't the right word, but hard to find. You know,
Hard to find. Yeah, he's got devils on horseback.
Devil Horseman. He's got the original Iron Man of Iron. He's got some magazine games. So all kinds of different ones. Of course, you know, work out a deal with him for shipping or whatever, or buy a few of his games. And yeah.
Hex to Hex has bought 3 already.
What? Which ones did you get, Hex?
All those Civil War ones.
Probably.
Sorry, American Civil War.
Hex to Hex hasn't figured out that there's, you know, other wars besides Civil War. He isn't.
Don't upset people who play ACW, for goodness sake. There's lots of.
You know, he plays the Civil War. I think he skipped 10th grade, or maybe failed 10th grade. I don't know. But that was the World War II section, and I think he just he didn't show up that year to school or something.
He got all World War II games.
Yeah, all World War II, all the good ones.
He doesn't know that. He thinks they're Civil War games. He's got no idea.
Where's Gettysburg on this map?
Yeah, where's Gettysburg?
Oh, I did play 3 days of Gettysburg last night with my friend Braxton. We played a night turn. We're playing the whole now that one we're playing the whole campaign. We've spent 30 to 50 hours and we're through the first day. And so
I think it's because of where I am. It doesn't appeal to me. Never say never, but you know, like World War One.
Okay, so I don't know if this is Men of Iron, but is Blood and Roses, is that part of that Men of Iron training pack? That's one of the many English Civil Wars, right?
No, that's the War of the Roses. That's different.
War, right?
No. Well, it's so
There's 2 factions in England going at each other.
Well, it was 2 royal families going at each other.
That's a Civil War. Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right, then it's called the War of the Roses, but the proper English Civil War was, you know, Charles and Roundheads and Cavaliers. But yeah, I suppose technically, we just know it's the War of the Roses because of the red and white roses of each the Lancastrian and York houses.
Yeah. Yeah, I played oh god. It was in the CI3 magazine. What is it? What was it?
Yeah, what the Men of Iron?
Yeah, the one that was in the C3I magazine. Yeah.
Warwick.
Yeah, that was fun. I had fun with that.
I think it's a little bit like the Agincourt one. It's a smaller map, plays quick, and
it's more balanced though. It's more balanced.
Oh, yeah, but it's great for solo as well because all the English are going to do is just stand there and fire arrows, you know, and the poor French are rushing forward and getting annihilated. But it gets you into the system, and it's I think it's a great system for a bigger battle. It's going to be, you know, wonderful, especially with some cavalry in it and all that. What's this? Oh, John Tiller, yes.
So John Tiller's winter sale is now upon us. So you got till the end of the year to pick up any of their titles from $29.95. So it's like 30% off. I think they're normally $39.95. So or 25% off, whatever. So yeah, you can pick up a lot of good titles for a pretty good price. So make sure you check it out. John Tiller Software. You can just do a Google search. I've got probably 8 or 9 of their games, and I like all of them. So they have complex ones. They have real simple ones. They have Hex to Hex might need to know this, but they do actually have World War II ones. They have Civil War one. They have a whole Civil War series, as a matter of fact. And you know how long it takes to set up a scenario? 5 seconds.
My only problem.
Look at all these counters. There's 1 million counters on my map.
My only problem is it looks like it runs on a Windows XP. That's the only thing. It looks a bit dated. That's me. It just looks.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The graphics, you're saying.
The graphics, yeah, not the gameplay. It's brilliant, probably. And there are a lot of. I'm not poo-pooing John Tiller games. It's just they just don't sparked my interest because of the look. The look is important. I know that's very shallow. I know.
You are a very shallow man.
I know. I'm English. I'm shallow. So, but that
You're
the look
a
of the game is important to me.
shallow man.
Yeah. Yeah. That sentence about sums me up. Yeah, but it just looks like someone who used to play on a Spectrum, you know. That's all.
Oh, Hex to Hex is playing something. Probably more Civil War. It's not Normandy. Must be Civil War. Trying to catch up.
All that airborne last 100 yards.
I've ordered that on the P500 just because everybody's going on about it all the blooming time. So
yeah, well,
I know it's available on that. So I thought, no, I'll put it on the 500. So when it comes round again, with all the I might have paid for the other 30 I've got on P500 by then. And that's his fault. That's his fault.
So did you probably, I don't know if you heard yesterday, Tony, because you were probably working, but Ruff told me yesterday he's got like over 30 P500 orders. I'm like, damn, I thought I had a lot.
Yeah.
He's got more than I do.
But a lot of them
it sounds like it's the one deal that he can get without having to pay like twice the game for shipping. So I think that's, you know, that's a lot of it, I think.
Yeah. I say
exactly the answer I wanted from
£10-20. If I can save £10-20 on a game, it's worth it, isn't it? What's he saying?
But like it's like 460. What did you say, Jester? 400 P500s you said he had?
No, 30.
Oh, 30. Oh, okay.
He's got over 30 P500.
I don't know if it's over 30. It's quite a lot. I was quite shocked.
So pretty soon we're not going to be able to say the word table, P500. I mean,
yeah, it's crazy.
I was kind of bummed GMT didn't have their sale this year. I was looking at picking up some stuff.
Good job, I say, because
speaking of GMT,
especially shipped them over to Second Chance Games, that would have been it. I've been click. Terrible.
Well, their usual sale is when you P500, you get like for each P500 you get one game for half off or something like that. It's not like it was last year where it just went nuts. I mean, I went nuts last year. I ordered like 7 or 8 games just because it was like they were in stock and they were half off. I'm like, man, it was funny. My wife, I said, okay, here, give these to me for Christmas. So I know, I was like, you can give me these for Christmas. And then she actually looked up how much the cost of the games were. And she's like, they're that much? I'm like, I got them for half of that. And she's like, are you serious?
That's still
like, yeah. I'm like, I usually don't pay full price for games anymore. I either pre-order them with a discount or wait till sales come around. I have a problem paying full price for games when I know that they're going to go, they're going to be shorter. They're going to cost less.
Yeah, that's the problem we have over here in this part of the world, in Europe and Britain for things like GMT games. We have to wait till they come over and that bumps the price up. And then they've got to make their bit, of course, which is fair enough. So a game that's sort of $40 over at your place, or say 50 quid over in your part of the world, is like 70, 75 pound once it gets over here. So, it's I can save a bit. Also, I like the excitement. It's quite exciting, isn't it? Seeing the numbers go, oh, it's nearly there. Oh, no, don't go. Not 10 of them at the same time. No.
Luckily, I think I did catch that, and I think Jester said you won't get them at the same time. It'll take a while.
Yeah,
they'll just trickle in.
That's what I'm hoping.
The only problem is you'll add more.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll have a constant 30 on P500.
I did get my last 2 in the same box, which was the paratroopers and the Tarong bot. So they could fit that in a box, but I did get those because they printed both of those at the same time. But you can see right now they're not doing anything, which means, you know what? they're not updating this page.
They're not
They're
doing
not,
anything till
they're
after.
not like off for Christmas. We know that, right? So something's come in, but they just haven't posted it yet because it's been this way for like a week and a half, 2 weeks now.
I think their newsletter said they're not doing anything after the last batch goes. They wait until after Christmas.
Well, they also shut down California again.
Oh, is that where they're at, California?
Yeah, in like the Los Angeles area, I think, where they've really shut down everything. So I don't know how well that's going to go.
I think they're just ticking over at the moment, waiting for the new year, see what happens.
Well, they got to be doing something. They're not just sitting around in their offices twiddling their thumbs.
Well, it might be if they can't do anything.
A lot of the stuff, unless it's other than the shipping, a lot of the stuff they can do at home. A lot of design and stuff like that. But the actual shipping, yeah, they just shut down everything in California again.
2, 4, 6, 8. They have 9 at the printer and nothing's getting printed. Is that what you're telling me? For the last
no, their
2
printers
weeks?
are over in China, so
I don't think
waiting.
GMT
They're
does
probably
all the
waiting.
printing in China.
Yeah, they do. GMT does all their printing in China.
Yeah, China. Yeah. It's
Granted,
Compass.
they use the same printers all the time, so we don't have any issues.
I think Compass prints some of their stuff in China and some of it over in your part of the world, I think. But out of that, all I've got on my list is Storm above the Reich.
No, you got the Dark.
Oh, and Dark Summer as well. Can't see. Yeah, sorry, got those 2 there.
Hey, I got that Wing Leader game, Jester.
Comes with all the updates that you ever need for everything ever, doesn't it? Yeah. It's only
They don't. Yeah. I do have the Bayonet and Tomahawk one.
When is that airplane Kickstarter thing that you ordered? I can't remember the name of it.
Next week. I should be getting it next week or 2. They're starting to ship out Monday.
What's it called?
It's B-17, or geez, let me look it up real quick. I was just looking at it. Yes, I just got an email yesterday that they're shipping them out. Either they're starting yesterday or the beginning of the week.
Right.
I was just looking.
The main thing for today's War Room is no guests, so we can finally talk about everything that we haven't been able to talk about for the last month.
Can I ask why you're not wearing any Christmassy stuff? I was going to bring the Christmas tree around, but I couldn't get it past there. So instead, I thought I'd just put those on. How's that? You feel Christmassy?
That's more Christmassy. Is that the Queen's?
No, they're Christmas
Is that
puds.
the crown? Is that the
Christmas
crown?
They're Christmas puds. They're Christmas puds.
I thought it was the Queen's crown. It looked like the Queen's crown.
Or you can have Santa having a bit of problems. Again, very Christmassy. This happens every year.
That's true.
Humbug.
It was the 8th Air Force and 20th Air Force.
Right. So it's a bomber thing.
Yep.
Yeah. There was
One's
another
Europe and one's Japan.
Yeah, one.
The notice that I got was on the 10th, said begin shipping as early as tomorrow.
Oh,
And that was on the 10th. So
you might get
I
it.
should have them by the end of next week.
Hex to hex. What's a pud? You have no idea what a pud is? Dear, oh dear. It's like sarnie. I said I'm having a sarnie. You went, what?
What's
Good.
a pud?
Pud. Yes.
Dessert.
Pudding. Pudding. Christmas pudding.
Pud is pudding.
PUD. Oh, no, no, no.
Look at that. So I mentioned this last week.
Look at the fear
I got
on it.
Look at the fear on this guy's face.
Yeah.
Oh my God. November 30th, 2019. So just over a year ago, we had our year anniversary. And here it is. Me and Rose Sword. Look at this guy. Oh my God.
I had more hair there. I had
You
more hair.
recognize this guy. here's me trying to talk some sense into him, and he's just sitting there like, "Oh my god, what the hell have I got myself into?"
That's awful.
I'm doing my usual, explaining things to him.
No, you're lecturing me again. You're telling me off there. That's what you're doing. You're just saying,
and you're like,
take the headphones off in disgust. I said, that's it, I'm off. That was a year.
I mean, with their microphones and headsets on.
Yeah. How last year, eh?
Look at this guy. Yeah.
I can borrow them, yeah.
Look at how messy his damn bookshelf. Look at that bookshelf. Oh my god, what a pigsty.
Yeah, that's
my god.
Because I was using them at the time.
Oh my gosh.
And look how few games I've got.
He's got like 8 little games on his shelf. He's like, look at my collection. I'm a big timer.
I'm surprised.
54 subscribers here on my channel.
What, I had a few hundred subscribers then. That was like 7 months into me doing it. A year ago, crikey. He's bored. Look, you're bored now. Look, you're looking away. I'm fed up with him talking now. I'm going to pretend to do.
Oh my god! Why do I even invite this guy on?
Yeah, thank you. What have I done?
Subscribers.
I like the syrup you're wearing, though.
Yeah, you got your usual parka on, and your flowered shirt.
That's one of many flowered shirts. You want to see? I've toned it down for this. You want to see some of the shirts I used to wear on stage? They were just, they'd knock your eyeballs out.
Look at him just being all, let me think about this here.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what have I let myself in for? He's starting to talk at me again. Yeah. Take it off, for goodness sake.
Everyone should go back to this video and give it a thumbs up, because look at that. I put up with Ruff for over a year. That should be worth something. I should get some kind of reward or something.
Yeah, no, that's the frightening thing. It's just gone like that. A year.
I know. When I mentioned that last week, you were like, "What?"
Yeah, no, I thought you were joking. Actually, to be honest with you, really. And then I looked myself and I thought, blimey, yeah. So crikey!
Look at all the people that posted comments here, and Wardrobe posted comments.
Yeah, I bet it was a Saki one. Knowing Todd, you know.
Oh, he was actually nice back then. Look at that! Wow. And Tony, we don't have a year yet, so nope. you're gonna have to just bide your time. Bide your time.
Like I said, I'm so happy that you guys invited me on. I've really enjoyed being on. Anyways, it's been fun. It's just a blast.
You know, was this the last time we're seeing you?
No.
Oh. Sound like you're saying goodbye.
No, I'm just thanking you guys for letting me in.
You know what? I'm going to be a bit slushy here as well now. You know, if I hadn't met Jester, and then through that, I've met loads of other people in this wargaming, your little circle of wonderfulness, and yeah, it's brilliant, and I love you all. No, I really mean it. It's been fantastic, and the laughing and the joking, yeah, and people having digs, funny digs, and everybody's very supportive and helps each other out. That's it. I'm slush off. There we go. Thank you, guys.
I am the one that introduced you to the world.
I did say thank you.
I know. I'm just saying. Before I came along, no one saw that mug. So without me, there would be no mug. I'm just saying. Without me, there would be no mug.
Yeah. I'm still a nobody.
I'm not saying that would be better or anything. I'm just saying without me, there would be no mug.
Get up, Biller.
So I want to ask something about the system. We've talked about SCS, and yes, I agree. And it says so on the box. You know, it's simplistic. It's to get people into Hex Encounter games, and that's brilliant. and OCS is the sort of big brother of it. And we got the BTS.
BTS, yeah.
Yeah, which talked to Kev, said needs tweaking, so maybe just leave that alone. He's not a great fan of GTS, by what I gather.
It's a Starkweather thing, I think.
Oh, I was going to ask you about the CCS, because he left MMP Starkweather and moved over to Compass to develop the company combat system, which is like the GTS brought over. Just wondering if any of you played any of that.
No, but Nathan's really gotten me wanting to play that. Nathan,
I know. It's you guys doing it, costing me money. If it's not the OG, if it's not Nathan, or you, Tony, it's just people.
Yeah,
it's doing some stuff on it, and
it looks fun, looks interesting. I think the price is what got me on that.
Yeah,
like their smallest one is like $80.
Yeah, Tinian is the one I want to get because it's a one mapper, isn't it? But hey,
yeah, but
that doesn't matter now. I've got 24 tables, so
so we have the man, the legend, the myth in the chat.
In the house.
So Ardwolf Lair, if you want, if you are interested in any of his games, we talked about this a little bit ago. He was too big time to show up on time, but whatever. So we already talked about this once, but we'll talk about it again since he's here. If you guys are interested, you might be able to let him, ask him in the chat if he's got anything available and talk with him about it. So anyways, just thought I would interrupt everything we were doing just to mention that.
That's normal. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean he's big time, so if we could.
Yeah, he's in the house, as you say over there.
Yeah, he's in the house. He doesn't realize what a Mount Union logo looks like.
It looks like a Michigan logo to me, but
that's what I thought it was. And I'm a Brit, there you go. What's all that about?
Did you have a Marshall shirt on at one time too?
No.
Or has it always been Mount Union?
No. My daughter went to Mount Union. So.
Marshalls. Not the Marshall amps. What's Marshalls? It's gone quiet. You don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
Marshalls and what?
Marshall amps.
Marshall's a different school. It's a different school. I thought it. They have the M. They have the block M. Same thing.
They're guitar amplifiers. Some say the best in the world. Made over here. Well, in China now. But anyway.
Oh, see. There's a couple other people that thought that way too.
Yeah.
So
50 years of loud. Yes, Maddie Dog.
I just want to know how Ardwolf's move went, because I know when I moved, didn't even have as many games as I've had now, and I know I don't have even close to the number of games he has. How that move went. Did he move all the games, or did somebody else move the games for him? So, I mean, that's like my books. I mean, we pay movers, so because I'm not lifting the boxes of books that I have.
That's my downfall as well, but that's what I've got to try and clear space for, so I can get stuff on the shelves because of my books. I'm a sucker. Not so much now.
Now you're buying games.
Yeah, buying games. I need the space. I've got to take the books down and box them up and get them out of the way. You just bought something, Jester.
I'm sorry?
You just bought something. Oh, sorry, it's Al. I thought you mean Ardwolf. You said, Al, look at your email.
He never trusts movers with his games.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, you just, all that valuable stuff.
I saw a meme. I saw a meme and I thought it was funny. If my wife died, I'm afraid she's going to sell the games for what I said I paid for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably.
I've actually told her,
calculating, I don't have a huge collection, right? I only have, maybe, I got all that, right? And I got this, and I got there, and I got some down here, and I got a stock.
Look at him. I don't have many games, and look, he's got a whole sideboard full of them.
Well, compared to some people, I don't.
Oh, sure, but, you know,
I was just thinking, okay, like just this one shelf is like $500. I'm like, holy crap!
No,
one little shelf is like $500. You got 6 or 7, 8 games on it.
that's
So
100.
I'm thinking I've got like 4,000 probably already.
Good job they don't know, isn't it? Good job that they don't know. You know, she who must be obeyed, she'd have a fit.
I told her to get one of my gaming friends to do it for her, so that way she'd get the best value for it because they would know what it's worth.
Are you much older than her then?
2 years.
2
and a
years?
half. 2.5 years.
She seemed like a really nice lady. We met her last week.
Yeah, I married up, and I'm not gonna.
I was gonna say, she is way out of your category, bud.
Yeah, you're punching above your weight there, mate. Punching way
Wow.
above your weight.
I don't know what she saw in me, but I'm glad she saw something.
And you have like 4 kids?
Certainly wasn't hair.
Three.
3 kids, 3 kids, 3 kids.
Yeah, twin boys, which are the bane of my existence, and a 13-year-old daughter, which I love very much.
Oh,
Eddie's girl.
And I love my daughter. I love my boys too.
course
They're
you do.
fun,
no,
but
no.
they're 8-year-old boys. They are 8-year-old boys. What do you expect?
Would you trade 2 8-year-old boys in for another girl?
No,
No.
one. I want to treat. She's my princess, and I'm going to treat her that way. I don't want to have 2.
Oh.
Matter of fact, when we found out,
So
When we
she's
found out-
grown up to be a spoiled little bitch. Then is that what you're telling me?
oh no, I hold her accountable. I hold her accountable.
Really? Do I need to ask your wife about this?
No, she will. You can ask her if you want to, but yeah, we are very strong. We are very strict with her. At the same time, we're I don't know. We make her accountable for when she makes mistakes, and she does have to learn some things the hard way, which is the way you learn the best. I hate to say that. People need to fail sometimes to learn, and that's me as a teacher saying that. Sometimes you just have to fail and learn from your failing.
Still Stone's trying to get us back on track. There you go.
I like both. I'm actually tending more to the tactical, actually, because, and I think Ruff, you said it. It's tells a story.
But also, I haven't played any operational games yet, so I can't say. But yeah, tactical for me. Hi, Kabuki.
But I like my OCS. So I mean,
What is it?
Yeah. I've got to try it. I've got to try that. So, that's better. That's better, Jester. Oh,
The wife wouldn't even come in. She stuck her arm through the door because she was afraid you guys would be all up in her.
and then she comes in and snogs.
What? Look at we are guided by the man, the legend, the myth. Holy cow! Let's just show up whenever we feel like it because we're so big time.
I see an invite that was sent at like 4 minutes ago. So
There you go. See, I get moaned out. I've been waiting here 10 minutes, he says. I sent an email and I only just got it through. There you go. Thank you, Ardy. Thank you.
now that I'm sitting in front of a big screen, I can see that is a Mount Union M. But on my phone, it looked like
Right.
an
Right.
M from that dirty place.
And
that
it's
we don't
funny
talk
because
about.
3 of the 4 of us are from Ohio. Who's the oddball out?
What are you trying to say? Just because I speak proper?
So we should just rename this the Ohio State Alumni War Room Association. Or
We
something.
could. I qualify. So I don't know why when I went to sell stuff, I never thought before, hey, maybe I should make a video and put this up on the channel because it went. I mean, it's not all gone, but a lot of it's gone. It all went real fast. I mean, the barn fire prices probably helped, but a lot of that stuff's gone already. All the big stuff, the big box stuff is gone. There's still some more stuff though that I haven't gotten to yet because I have to organize it. I've got at least 2 OCS games that need to go up. I'm just waiting for. So one of the OCS games is missing its informational counters. And I'm like, well, that's not a problem. I have like 10 extra sheets of OCS markers. They're in the storage unit. So they're in the back corner because the first box that went into the storage unit was the box with the OCS in it. Because when we play OCS, we don't use my copies. We use a buddy's copies. So I didn't need them. Now I need them. So
Yeah.
I thought of that.
Why are you selling them if it's not rude?
So
Is it duplicates, or you don't get on with the games, or
yeah,
what?
so like 40% of what I'm selling here is a friend's stuff, and I am selling them for him. Another 40% is this estate that just got dropped on me like a couple days ago. That I kept. There's a video coming up about what I'm keeping. There was some nice stuff in there. And then the other 20% is just like extra duplicates that I had. Like some of the great campaigns, the American Civil War stuff is I'm never parting with that stuff. They're just extras that I had. I have an extra copy. I had 3 copies of Stonewall in the Valley. I'm like, I don't need 3 copies. I mean, I love it. It's great, but I don't need 3 of them.
Right.
So
what if you want to play it twice? No.
I'm already keeping extra copies of great campaigns of the American Civil War games because I have all of them, back to the Avalon Hill days. And some of those old Avalon Hill ones are now replaced by new multi-man products. So do I need Stonewall Jackson's Way 1 from Avalon Hill? No, but I'm keeping it because it's my favorite game series. Yeah. So I got rid of nothing from my own person. No, that's not true. There's a couple little odds and ends, but like nothing, no title has left my collection as a result of this thing. A couple of people have drawn that erroneous conclusion, however.
Yeah. I have a very important question for you, Hardwolf. Is it a climate controlled storage unit?
No, but it's my goal to get the games entirely out of it.
Okay.
Sometime over the course of the next month or so.
Because
after all, I have to get box number 1 that's in the back corner out anyway, right?
No, it's okay. Did you go up north? Did you go farther north?
No, I went about 20 miles, about 5 miles to the east.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm still in Columbus.
Oh, okay.
What are you accusing me of having moved to Michigan?
Not Michigan, another state that starts with an M. I thought you were looking at a job in Minnesota.
Like Mississippi? Well, that was actually something that was on the table. That turned out to be not the opportunity for me. So yeah,
I didn't know if you had moved up there or not.
Yeah,
so.
No, Minnesota would actually there's a lot of wargaming in Minnesota, or at least in the Twin Cities area. So I mean, I would not necessarily have objected to that as such. But I didn't want to go to Oklahoma City, which was where that working interview that I did a couple of weeks ago was.
Oh, I see you got your new mic set up now.
Yeah, I need a new one. This one cost about $14, and it's already fallen apart because this mic is too heavy. So I need one that will handle. It's a Blue Yeti.
Oh, that's what I got.
It's just under 3 pounds, and but you're using it on the desk. I found that I have a.
I'm thinking about getting a setup like yours. So when you decide on what you're getting, let me know how you like it so I can get set up.
I can do that. The one I want's about $65, which is like 3 or 4 times what I wanted to spend. But that's what happens when you go with the cheap one, right? You end up buying and you're like, this is crap, and it falls apart. This is like not. I don't know if you could see this, but this is not sitting flush or level anymore because of the strain on the cheap arm. So
it's like cheap boom mics.
It's better than this, I'll tell you.
That's I suppose it probably.
So literally, you puts it in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes.
Right, booming.
This is a heavy microphone, right? It's like over 1 kilo, so it is a heavy microphone, and now I know you got to pay attention to the weight capacity of your microphone stand.
You didn't know that was an important detail for streaming.
What am I? What do I work at Guitar Center? Great place to get microphones and stuff, actually. But I didn't want to monkey with it. That's why I bought this microphone, because it's USB. You plug it in, it works, and that's it. I don't need a board or any an amplifier or any of that extra stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm actually thinking about getting a setup like that and using it for my camera, so you can literally move it around on your, when you're videoing and you're doing something.
Yeah, so I actually have one of those too, except I've rigged it so that it has a phone, because I use, when I'm like overhead filming, I use my phone. Okay. And I actually have a clamp on an arm that holds my phone.
That's what I've got too.
So, like this thing.
Yeah. It doesn't look like that, but yeah, I mean, it's basically the same type of thing, except it's an articulated arm like this and not just a little bendy. Twist
So how do
Twisty
you get
type thing.
the distance? Because you go straight overhead, and so does Tony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well,
thinking of something hanging off the ceiling or something like that.
No, it's that arm. I have the same thing that
Yeah.
you have, Ardwolf. Yeah.
Long arm, is it?
Yeah, it's probably each arm segment's probably 19 inches, I would say on that one.
And there's different sizes,
unfortunately
too.
shorter. That's true.
It's
I'm
impossible.
actually a little surprised that kind of
What
talk
do you want?
doesn't
Go
erupt
back to your Civil War
more
game.
regularly.
Go back to your Civil War game.
What?
Well, you're talking to four content producers. We're gonna talk about our tricks
Yeah.
and trades and stuff.
What microphone do you use, Tony? You've seen
Just
that-
just the camera.
Oh, here's mine.
I want to get a better microphone, though. I really do.
There's mine.
Yeah, I did when I ran that online game with the designer of Shores of Tripoli. He was just using like an earbud microphone, and he sounded great.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I spent like $130 on this damn thing.
That's just something else for me to knock out the way when I'm videoing.
Yeah.
I just use my phone. Like I'm just make sure I'm close enough, and it seems to pick up really good. So
I used to use my phone, but when you walk away from it, but now I just clip it on here and I'm off. That goes into my phone.
I looked into like actual video cameras, and while I can get a really awesome video camera, I'm going to spend like $3,000 on it.
Oh yes.
And if I was to buy like a home video camera, it would take it has less capabilities than my phone camera, right? It's 1080. It's 30 frames per second. It's there's a whole bunch of things I can do with my phone camera that I can't do with a $300 camcorder anymore.
Right.
I was looking at like actually getting a camera to do it separately, and I'm like, wait a minute, my phone's just as good, and
But how much storage? I've only got about 27 minutes on mine with all the crap on it, so I have to keep stopping videos. And the other thing, 1080, 30 frames a second, is that not good enough? Why do we need?
It is good enough. But 4K is, I can do 4K now. I have a 4K display. So I would kind of like to be able to do, at least to have the option of doing 4K videos. So, and I actually do have, I bought like an action cam too that also does 4K. And the sound is garbage. The like OCS live play video I did a few months ago was in that camera, and the audio is just garbage. I need like a separate microphone for it.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering if we need that amount of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I think 1080 is completely fine. It's much more important if you're filming war games, right? We have an issue in that a lot of us are old, and sometimes the numbers are too small. But as long it's way more important to have good light than it is to film in 4K, right? If you're filming at 1080 and you have good light, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the lighting. Yes. So
yeah, lighting is critical for any kind of video production. So
the only sort of Ponzi thing
I got crap for light, so that's why all mine look like crap. So
the only Ponzi thing I use is a photographer's thing with a daylight bulb in it, so you don't get that sort of yellowy glow. That's my only sort of yeah.
Yeah, I got a couple of, at one point, Amazon, I think, had these little like LCD light panels available. And I they're on sale, and I bought a couple of those, and they work pretty good. And there's even like little slides in them, so you could do red light or blue light or whatever, which I like to call U-boat mode. And they're still in a box. I haven't set them back up yet.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah, U-boat mode.
So it's interesting. It's interesting to talk about this. Maybe not for the audience, but for us. Yeah.
I'd love to have people to talk about this stuff with, actually, because I mean, everything I do, I've just kind of learned on my own through dumb, trial and error.
Or from the knowledge you can glean from other YouTubers, that talk about it. So
and there's folks that that have done videos on that. I think Heavy Cardboard has done a video on that, but he's got like a multi-$1,000 setup, right? I can't do that. So, and there's Stuka Joe with his like giant homemade rigs to pan the camera slowly. Yeah. I mean, that's insane.
But that's, ordinary Joes. We just want a bit of advice, with our phones and bits and pieces that we've got, So it's good to talk about it. We were talking about the different combat systems from, SCS, BTS, and OCS, and just wondering what your thoughts were on GTS. You like GTS?
I do, actually, and there may be a GTS related video coming in the next several days.
Still waiting.
Right.
But so I've played the GTS that I've played has been the big Market Garden thing, right? And I had a great time with it. I loved it. It is not a. There are many criticisms I could levy at this system. When I think Nathan and I might have talked about this when I had him on my channel. We called it bowling. We call it bowling for zeros, where you're just rolling a D10 and try to get zeros because that's what you could. That's the only thing that will do anything. Yeah. But at the same time, it's a lot of fun to play. I'm a lot less interested in like the No Question of Surrender scenario, but like the D-Day and Market Garden stuff. Yeah, I'm all over that.
I've got that to learn the GTS system before I involved. But then again, I hear, because Adam went across the compass and did the CCS system, which is like a sort of same sort of thing. Is it the same sort of
it's got a lot of the same ideas. It has the same type of command and dispatch points economy mechanics of that are a little bit different that GTS does. But it has a lot fewer attack types. GTS in the Greatest Day has like 11 different attack types or something like that. It's a lot of different kinds of armaments, whereas CSS has like 3 or 4. It's considerably streamlined. There's a lot of things that when I was reading through and fooling around, pushing counters around with Guam, CSS Guam, I said, I don't have to roll for this. In GTS, I would have to roll for this. But at the same time, CSS has support weapons, like assignable support weapons that have their own counters, which is not something you have in GTS. They are similar but not identical systems, and I like what I have seen of both of them, to be honest. I think they're both worthwhile. That said, there's a lot of the CSS stuff that's come out I'm not interested in. Like all the modern stuff, not interested in that. The hypothetical stuff, not interested in that. Even the East Front thing, I'm a little leery of. I'd kind of like to look at it, but it's an expensive buy-in for something I'm curious about. But I have all of the Pacific Island games, and those all look very interesting. They might not necessarily be equally fun for both sides. If you think about the way the Japanese are generally going to play, where you just kind of are getting slowly, inexorably ground down by the Marines. Some people will probably not enjoy that.
But for solo, great.
Yeah, but for solo, who cares?
Yeah. Right. So you don't like sort of modern stuff as much, but you've got.
I'm just less interested in the modern stuff topically. That's all.
But you got that big what is it?
Under an Iron Sky. Yeah. And I figure between that and the revision of the Frank Shadwick Third World War game that's coming from Compass, and Iron Curtain for the lighter side, I am completely covered for that topic. I never need to buy another thing.
See, I quite like modern. I've got into it because of Next War series and World at War 85, and
I do have. So that's a little bit different, right? That's like the kind. So the kinds of things that like SPI was doing near future hypothetical games about are the same kinds of thing. I mean, it's the same topic that we're seeing all this big renaissance of right now, right? It's, NATO versus Warsaw Pact in the 80s stuff. Whereas the GMT Next War series is like hypothetical stuff that could be happening now.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a kind of a different topic, a different type of topic. And I do have all of those, and we have done relatively little with them. We played some basics basic rules, India, Pakistan, just to kind of try and get a feel for it. And we felt like we needed to like actually set it up as a main game and work our way through the whole thing at some point with the advanced rules.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. It makes it fun.
His fault. I got me Korea one. Looking forward to it.
When like, because we had Mitch Land on, and of course he's the designer, and I play ATS with him. I don't play.
Hold on, there's some games here. I'll be right back.
Oh, there's somebody at the. No, see, only a Brit would understand that.
It's okay. Relax.
I'm going to mute him so we don't have to listen to his stupid mutt.
What were you saying about not having a guest on so we could talk?
Should I kick him out?
No, I'm joking. That's great. Artie's here. Great.
We should kick him out, shouldn't we?
He talks as much as I do.
He does. You can't get a word in with you two. Good Lord. Well, Ruff was doing pretty good.
I know, but you know, he's an interesting guy, and he knows a lot about games, and I need to pick his brains because I need to pick his brains, you know, and this is the ideal opportunity. So if you've got any questions, boys and girls, in the audience there, ask away. You know, Artie is very particular who he comes on with, and we are honoured that he's decided to come on with us, because I wouldn't be seen dead with me. It's gone quiet again.
That's a good question.
What's that?
So what's your pet peeves with wargaming? I already know what Jesters is. That's easy.
We don't need to get in that again.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's a ways up. Unfortunately, I can't pick it up.
Who is it?
Steel Stone.
Steel Stone. It's fine still.
He's Mr. Questionnaire.
Oh, yeah.
Steel Stone joins our chat and he posts like 12 questions every time. He's like Mr. Questionnaire. I think he's filling out like a survey at home, and he's taking notes and stuff, because it's like, God, every time he comes on, he wants to like ask 20 questions. Seriously.
They're good questions.
They are good questions, but it's like I'm filling out a questionnaire every week.
His is changing the robot. Honestly, mine's teardown of a game.
A what?
I like setting them up. I like playing them. I hate cleaning them up. Like, because that's where the organization is, depending on how you do it. And it's like teardown is the worst. Teardown. I love setting up though. You know, it's annoying at times because it's time consuming, but I do. I'm like, oh, where's this guy go? Ooh, why is he there? You know. Yeah.
So get them all ready, all straight, and all It's the same.
And then I put my camera down, and it moves them all over the place.
Yeah, my pet peeve is, I got a bunch of pet peeves, but
hold on, we'll wait for mine first, all right? Because you're going to go on a bit. I know one of yours. Mine's the same as yours. Actually, is setting up is great. Putting away is not so much. It's a bit like being in a band. If you're in a band, setting up for a gig is great fun. You know, you're putting all the stuff, getting ready for the gig, and then but sort of 2:30 in the morning, when you're absolutely, you got to stick and put the stuff away, and the bloody drummer's always the last one to go, and you wait with the drummer because you can't get your cymbals in the bloody bag, and so putting away is my little pet peeve, but I love setting up. Over to you, Jester.
I guess my biggest pet peeve is where wargaming is compared to where it could be, and all the little things that drag it down. So that's all I'm going to say.
Disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
I think wargaming could be a lot more popular. It could be in a lot better shape, and I think it can be a more robust hobby for people. But it's not, because of the way things have been for 50 years, which is holding it down. That's all I'm going to say. So,
well, you've only got to look at other types of games to see how much they've come on since Monopoly. So I can't disagree with you there.
I will give you an example. All right. Here's my example. So this is a card game, right? Which is not unusual, right? But literally, you open the box up, and they have all the cards wrapped up in packs. and you open the instruction book. And it says, stop. Do not do anything until instructed to do so. Step 1, open pack A. Separate those cards. Step 2, open pack B. Separate those cards. Step C, do this. Step D, do this. Play game. So you're literally opening the packages, which are already pre-sorted, ready to go, and it's telling you how to set up the game and get ready to play.
I think that's where Lock and Load has been so successful with like the World of War, because it's basically open up, punch the counters. Here's the sample. Here's the turn thing. Boom, you can put it out, ready to go. And we've talked about that. You can just go with that game. Once you open the box, you flip through the rules or whatever, and yeah, I think it's pretty easy.
Here's, if Wargaming wants to be better, right? They can copy all this stuff that other games are doing. So if I open a war game, right? Give me a war game. I open my box up, right? It says, take counter sheet number 1. Separate those counters, because those are going to be the counters you're going to use for scenario number 1. You will then have a half sheet. Step number 2 will be, there's a half sheet of admin counters that you're going to need for this scenario. Punch those out. Step 3, go to page 6 of your rule book. Put these counters on the map, which have already been in the rule book, showing you where all the counters go on the map, step by step by step.
You've upset him now, like you did with Kevin. He came back, saw he was muted, and went, "That's it, I'm off."
Well, it's just trying to keep so we don't have to listen to his stupid mutt. So that's what I'm talking about.
We just lost some followers because he insulted a dog.
Yeah. Got to be very careful nowadays.
So there is a lot of things Wargaming can do to be better, to be more friendly user friendly, to make things easier for people. They could already have these counters pre-ready to go. They can already have a practice map that has the counters images on there. So all you have to do is take the image, take one bag, open it up, and you're just placing the counters off the bag on the sheet, and you're ready to go.
I mean, some of the older games used to be a little bit like that, where you'd give you the rules and you'd read half a dozen pages of rules. It says, now stop, play scenario 1. Because it's introduced a few rules, and then you'd read a few more rules and it says, stop, now play scenario 2, including the rules you knew before, and sort of built it up as you went along. That's a great idea, which I'm surprised isn't done more often now.
Yes, that is a good idea. That is a baby step in the right direction.
Yeah, great, but they used to do it.
Step in the right direction, but wargaming companies, they need to make it literally. I went to Columbus Area Board Gaming Society, and you can talk to Ardwolf. I was a member there for 15 years. All right. And he would know all the people that I know because he hangs around with some of them. I went there. We would have between 120 and 150 people there for a meeting. And I could say, hey, let's play a war game. And to somebody, and 98% of the people are going to look at me like, dude, I don't have like 6 hours to get it all set up and get it played and put away before I have to leave.
I just want to comment. Heath put something about watching my Agincourt playthrough, and I assume he's talking about longbows. They are lethal, and I believe it's not the first time it's been said, but they are quite overpowered, are the longbows. Am I right, Fifthwell? Yeah. They are devastating. Maybe too much.
I muted you so we didn't have to hear anything.
That's okay. I muted myself as soon as it was deemed to be not packages. So a friend of mine showed up unannounced, which is fine. I had something to give him, but then he's go, okay, I'm leaving, and then walked out, and the cat bolted and got outside. So we had to deal with that.
You're running down the road after the cat.
Into the backyard, pretty much. She's never gone far, but she's like gone and been missing for a couple of weeks before. So I do not want to have that happen again.
No.
So sorry.
So we were just discussing, and the three of us have already talked about it, but somebody had brought up a question about what is your biggest pet peeve in wargaming? What is your
war gamers?
War gamers?
Yeah. I'm not even being facetious either. We are, and like every hobby that's kind of its own little social circle suffers from this to a certain extent, of people who have this sort of tunnel vision on that hobby and who are really invested in it and they care, and that's good, but they also tend to be unduly pessimistic. And we're in 2020, so pessimism is probably understandable, but the nonstop negativity is a real downer, man. Just a real downer. I don't have time to my official position. Not that I never slip into this either, but my official position is I don't have time to worry about stuff I don't like. Somebody else is having fun with, whatever game I hate. Cool. Good. And I mean that in a completely non-facetious way. Good for them. I am glad you love and are enjoying those 27 games of Combat Commander that you played last Saturday. I don't enjoy it, but I'm not going to focus on that and, jump into people talking about Combat Commander online and say, "Oh yeah, but Combat Commander sucks." That's douchey. I don't want to do that. So like the socially inept and overly negative behavior of gamers is, I think, the biggest. This is not a wargamer thing either, by the way. This is seen also in the tabletop role-playing community. It is seen in online games of just people being dicks. And I don't want to deal with that. So if you're a dick, off you go. See ya.
But you get that everywhere, as you say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's not a gamer thing. It's just this is the hobby I'm in, right? So this is where I see it.
Gatherings exactly the same, if not worse. They're all in all walks of life. Yeah. And I'm completely with you. One man's meat is another man's poison. Go ahead and enjoy. It's if I don't like a game, doesn't mean to say you don't have to like it.
That's why I was very careful to say in the recent hubbub about U-Boat, it's like nobody's saying this thing's a bad game, right?
No,
just not in the field, in my opinion.
I think that's the main issue with it, not the game. It's why it was placed where it was.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about this on Dan's show the other night, actually, with Volko and David Thompson. And I mean, I agree with basically everything that was said there. The wargamers for whom the Charles S. Roberts Award, named after Charles S. Roberts, the founder of our hobby, feel like this should be an award to more or less hex and counter war games. And this year it was dominated by U-Boat, in part due to the fact that U-Boat's publisher was very aggressive about pushing people to vote for it, but also in part due to the, let me be blunt and say, Mickey Mouse process that was used to determine the winners. It's a crappy process, and we saw the problem with it this year. Nobody else, and as David said, no. He wants his publishers to do that for his games, right? To pump his games and encourage people to vote for awards for those games. That is the publisher's job. Whoever the publisher of U-Boat is, I believe it's Phalanx, didn't do wrong by doing that, but nobody else did that. So the effect was not negated by other publishers pimping for it. And we ended up with a big mess and on awards for at least this year, where it looks bad for the whole award itself.
Yeah, it was come back after many years, You're expecting great things, and it's
Yeah,
not
exactly. And again,
any-
there's nothing that says U-boat is bad, right? And we, at no point in the, like, I guess now 3 online things on which I will have talked about this at length, at no point anywhere has anybody said U-boat sucks. It's just that it didn't belong. But again, you know, I'm the exact person that would draw that conclusion, right? The people who voted for U-boat presumably are not. So just, you know, I got the same right to an opinion as anybody else, but everybody, I have to say, everybody else has the same right to an opinion as I do. So it's, you know, and like in games or disliking games is the same thing. I literally don't have the bandwidth to go in and shit on people's stuff other people are enjoying. You want to go listen to Nickelback? Go ahead. Go to see Nick. Wear your Nickelback T-shirt with pride, man. That's okay.
I may not agree with you. I may not agree with you, but go ahead and enjoy yourself. You know, but that's exactly how I feel. Yeah, because there's some games I think, why are they playing them? But they're obviously enjoying them. So good luck to you. You know, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah,
if I'm trying to turn that into a value judgment, right? Like a Nickelback, and I know people make fun of Nickelback, and like I said, I slip into this too. If I try to turn that into a value judgment, if I am suggesting that, you know, Nickelback sucks, and I'm making a point to say that publicly for public consumption, or Commands and Colors sucks, and I'm making a point to say that for public consumption, then what I am doing is performative. And I spent enough of time performing, right? I don't have time to perform more on stuff that I don't like.
You have a complete right to have an opinion.
Yeah, everybody does.
Have a right to push that opinion forcibly on other people to change their mind, you know.
And if you're a dick, I reserve the right to remove you from my content stream. So
we can't afford to do.
Honestly, had to do a remarkably small number of times.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you mean people that have subscribed to you and then made adverse comments, and you've had to say I'm bad enough. I've had a few comments that from people that aren't subscribed, because people troll, don't they? And
well, that's true too.
But then you just hide them,
and that's that. No, I mean, there's been at least one.
They're making acerbic comments and nobody can see it, and that's quite funny, you know.
Well, I mean, somebody being a wise guy just for the sake of being funny, I have a reasonable tolerance for. Somebody who's like pointing toxicity my way, whether that's, you know, somebody in a stream or somebody who I follow on social media because it was somebody whose stuff I had respected. Don't have to deal with it. So
no, you don't. And I'm slowly, because you're frightened, aren't you? When you're new to this game, you're frightened to upset anybody because you're starting to get into the thing. But I'm getting to the stage now where, not flippant about it, but if somebody says something once, I think, all right, he's being a bit sarky. And then if it's the same person and the only comments they're doing is this type of sarky, have a slight go, and I'm just going to, and I sleep well at night, you know. So.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, none of us, let's face it, none of us are making a living at this, right?
No.
So we're doing this because it is what we enjoy. We are helping to communicate our enjoyment of a hobby that we enjoy, right? So we're doing this because we want to, not because we're making money or because we think we're going to be big shots, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. Only Grant and Alexander are big shots, okay? And Stuka Joe.
Yeah.
So, and even then, we're a real small pond, right?
Yeah.
We're giant trout in a real small pond, and the fish grow up fast. So, you know, we don't need, and I mean, everybody should, I think, kind of see it this way with their hobby. Is like, if somebody is a net drag on my enjoyment, off they go. That does not necessarily mean I need to be an asshole to them. Okay, so I'll tell you a convention story. I'm sorry to come in and completely take over.
You're doing a Tony.
So a couple years ago at a convention that I will not name, we had set up a large 4-player game that I will not name, because if I name any of these things, then people who are there will know who I'm talking about. And one, we made emails, went back and forth before the game and before the event. And, one of the players and I had arranged to split a hotel room. And about on like Wednesday of this week-long event, he decided that he needed the other player opposing him to take back his entire turn so that he could make an adjustment that he said he would have made if he didn't know this thing was going to happen. And the other player said, no, we literally cannot do that in this game. And he got sore and stomped out, which meant that he left the game and left the hotel, leaving me on the hook for the hotel bill. So I was pissed. He paid for like the nights he stayed, but like that's not the arrangement, right? I mean, here's what it's going to cost. We're splitting it so that it's the hotel's of the biggest cost of the entire event by far is affordable for both of us. But he didn't pay for like the remaining like 4 nights, and it's like, well, look, you're like leaving me on the hook for like an extra couple $100, and I'm not happy about that. And he left anyway. And you know what? If I run into him at a further convention, I'm going to say hello, but I'm never gaming with him again. And I'm never sharing a hotel room with him again. So, I mean, I got no investment in being a jerk to him, but he's, he is not somebody I want to spend time with.
Yeah.
Anymore.
That's the way. But generally speaking, I was talking about this earlier, this community generally, as opposed to other gaming type of, or any community, from my experience, has been fantastically supportive, to me and to each other. Mm-hmm. And I find that quite refreshing. I could, you may be dulling my things if you keep coming out with these stories, but at the moment, it's quite heartwarming.
Well, everybody's got stories, but I mean, my experience as a content creator has been exactly that. It has been 98.8, very positive. And honestly, my experience at conventions with wargamers, with the possible exception of some people who are maybe more aromatic than they should be, has been personable and completely fine.
Talk about.
I'm just saying, this is where there's a reason. Hygiene is one of the reasons why we can't have conventions anymore. I'm just saying. Yeah. You want this guy to wash your hands.
All right. Hey, okay. Art Wolf. Time to move on to the next subject.
Okay, Tony. By all means.
How about a new topic of games you're looking forward to that are coming out in next year? Any things on the horizon you're like, oh, I can't wait for this to come out?
Hold on a sec, Tony. You've got a bit blurry, a bit pixely. Sorry, Art.
It's okay. Oh, so am I going first?
You are,
because I have done a lot of talking in the last couple of minutes. I actually have a video on that topic coming out. But
what haven't you got a video coming up on? Crikey,
I'm behind actually. But I'll tell you.
He does a lot of videos, unlike Ruff and Tony put together. They put out 2 videos a week.
Okay.
I mean, I did the video and then I uploaded it, and then I immediately felt bad for these other 6 things I hadn't mentioned. So now's my opportunity to. There's a video coming out about the 3 big games that I'm looking forward to, which are Pacific War, Hood Strikes North, and War for America. One from GMT, one from Multiman, and one from Compass. But I'm also very much looking forward to the new Third World War, which should be out in 2021 at some point from Compass. There's a new version of the Joe Balkowski Korean War, which is the best game on the topic. If you really wanted a real simulation of the Korean War, that's the game.
Is that the old Victory Games?
Indeed it is. Yeah. To what extent it will be revised, I have no idea. Could be not at all. Could be lightly. I don't expect it to be hugely changed.
I'm looking out for that. So
yeah,
But
and then me too. So that's a very. I don't own the original, so I feel completely justified in wanting the new one.
Tony, you haven't said anything. You've not said anything for 10 minutes.
The Third World War is definitely on my want list.
I don't know about this. What's this all about? The Third World War series.
The Third Winter. Sorry, the Third Winter. The Third Winter, the OCS Third Winter game.
I don't
Oh,
expect
right.
that to be out in 2021.
Right. Okay.
I have played that. It is. I like it a ton,
Okay.
but I don't.
The other
expect
one
it
is
to be out in 2021.
the BCS, the East Front BCS game.
Panzer's Last Stand.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to those two. I don't know if that one will be out, but I hope it is because I'd like to play some BCS on the East Front.
Is that up
Because-
for pre-order yet?
Not quite yet. No.
Okay,
I don't
then-
even think the Third Winter is yet
It
either.
is. I could tell you it is not, unless it went up today.
Yeah.
But I don't expect that. If that's not out on pre-order in mid-December, I don't expect it to be released in 2021
I
either.
really like the BCS system. I haven't read the second version of the rules yet, but I really want to because I really enjoyed the system as it was. I played the last Blitzkrieg, or a good portion of it, on Vassal because actually playing it live is blinding. If you're green colorblind, you can't even play it because the counters are the same color, pretty much so, of green as the map, and I thought it was a bad color choice. They could have.
There's some ergonomic choices that were made in the physical design of the physical pieces of the first two games in the series that I disagree with strongly.
Actually, really good.
I unloaded all of my BCS titles. I had all three. I was dissatisfied with. There's so many good things that are happening in there, so I felt a little bit bad about feeling like artillery and air are just broken in the series rules. I believe some adjustments will be made with the new game in the series, and I'm looking forward to seeing the new version of the rules.
Yeah, everything else I really liked. I love the snafu roll. That was probably my favorite.
It's great. It's a great rule.
It really is, and that's why I think that's why I like OCS as much as I do. Is you can't just create a monster stack or a monster line and push through the map. You can't do it. You actually have to have OCS. You have to have the supply. Snafu for BCS, you may not be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I do agree with the artillery rules. They were a little off. And
So these are things
I
that,
never got really into the air rules that much.
Well, they're a little too abstract to reflect how air was used in the desert. That's kind of the problem. It actually works for Bulge because there really wasn't the campaign for Last Blitzkrieg only lasts about 2 weeks or something like that, and like that's the time in which the Germans went because Allied air power was literally under the weather. So air was not a huge factor during that time frame. But in the desert, that's a completely different scenario, but you still have the same really arbitrary air rules, and I think it doesn't work.
Is he still answering the same question?
No, I went on to what I was looking forward to.
No, we've moved on to BCS now.
But are these the things we're talking about? The tweaks that other people talk about?
And I know there's some artillery tweaks that are happening in the next version of the rules.
So I'm going to wait until that's tweaked. Then possibly.
Isn't the 2.0 rules out? Like you can download them, or
I haven't checked.
Yeah,
that's plausible. However,
so those are the two that I know for sure that I'm looking forward to. I can't think of everything. The Bayonet and Tomahawk from GMT, I'm really, really interested in.
Oh,
the French and Indian War, because there's not many games on the topic.
There aren't.
And the ones that there are very light, and this seems a little bit heavier than that. So I'm curious about that one.
Going to be a bit light in their play, So
like Wilderness War, Wilderness Empires, they're extremely light games. Let's see. I've never played a Few Acres of Snow or something like that, which is
that French and Indian War, the Martin Wallace game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played
that. That's technically broken. If you do the one thing and you're successful at it, you can.
Right. And the designer was asked about, hey, what about this one thing that's broken? And he said, don't play with those people.
Good answer. I like that. So we talked about.
Hold on. I haven't had my turn yet.
Huh?
I haven't had my turn yet.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to cheeky monkey.
Go ahead, Tim.
With your Michigan shirt.
The floor is all yours.
can't remember now. No, I'm looking forward. Excuse me, I breathed in and choking. Oh, lovely. Oh no, take that away.
It's all yours, buddy.
Oh, God. I'm looking forward to Pacific War because it's Mark Herman and it's huge, and I'm never going to play it fully, but hey ho. I'm also looking forward to Red Winter, the Russian-Finnish war, the sister to Operation Dauntless, which has been revamped with some new bits and pieces. And I'm also looking forward to the reissue of Carrier, John Sutherland's game. I understand Tony says it's not the same game as the original. It's moved to a different area or something. But I'm still looking forward to that. So those are my 3 top ones I'm looking forward to.
I've got my eye on that as well. It's basically the Carrier. My understanding is it's basically the old Carrier system, just with Battle of the Philippine Sea instead of whatever Carrier was about.
That's what it was.
Oh, yes. Carrier wasn't Guadalcanal?
Maybe.
Carrier?
You might be thinking of Tokyo Express, which was about Guadalcanal, and which I can verify because a collection just fell into my hands.
I'll be playing that next, hopefully.
Oh yeah, awesome. It was so a friend of I'm on Instagram, and a friend sees from a different hobby sees that I'm posting board war game pictures on Instagram and says, "Oh, a friend of ours just passed away. We've got a bunch of his old games. Do you want them?" And then there was like a 6-month conversation, and I just picked that stuff up like 3 or 4 days ago. And that's a bunch of the stuff that got sold. I kept a bunch of stuff too. And one of the things I kept was, in fact, Tokyo Express. And I've been wanting to copy that for a while.
Yeah, I'm pleased when I got my copy. It was unpunched and everything.
Yeah, this one is too.
Yeah, looking forward to playing that.
Well, Tunisia.
Tunisia?
Yes, Tunisia.
Tunisia. Because all I say is, what's the capital of Tunisia? It's Tunis. Tunisia. Move along.
I mean, it makes sense.
So we talked a little bit about the Charles S. Roberts Awards and the travesty that it was, and we've already gone through that on our show. But I don't know if you're going to do a video on this or not, but 2020. Your top 5 games released, maybe not in any order, but just kind of rough ballpark, or top 3 you might have thought.
I might do some kind of top games of 2020, but bear in mind that I didn't necessarily play that many 2020 releases in 2020. The one I could think of right now is the one that we have set up on a table and that we're probably not going to get back to until January now, which is Hungarian Rhapsody. Which I like quite a bit, actually. It's quite a different. It's got a lot of different things going on than your typical OCS game because it basically has a completely different Soviet supply system than standard OCS. Other 2020 releases that I played. I'm not sure which of the Worthington Civil War titles that I played came out in 2020. I guess I could find out because I have a spreadsheet because I'm a dork. I'm just saying. But I mean, the one that leaps offhand is, we have as I've mentioned many times, we have a thriving OCS community here in Columbus. So
down there sometime. Ardwolf, I got to get down there sometime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so. Don't count on any of this for happening in 2021. Buckeye Game Fest is something to look at. We have a whole week to play whatever, and there's always OCS on the table. Usually, at least.
What week is that usually?
It's usually some week in September.
Okay.
It's usually around the 10th to the 12th. Yeah, is usually.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, the school starts. Great.
Yeah.
I'll have to come down for a weekend or something.
Not a war game. Stellar Horizons. We've played Stellar Horizons like 4 times now, and we've had a good time every time.
Wasn't that War Game of the Week from
somebody? Yeah, not from me. I don't. that was Mike Berticelli, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I have not had a chance to try Brotherhood and Unity, but it looks really interesting. Much more interesting than I expected it to. I would really like to try it, but I have not yet. I'm not sure there's a Vassal module for it. And Imperial Struggle, which I was disappointed by. I think I didn't get a sense of the theme playing Imperial Struggle. It was just pushing points around in various places, and I didn't care for it. I have played a little bit, but I haven't played a whole game of Versailles 1919, and I have a considerably more positive opinion of that.
I was just going to ask you about that one too, because that's kind of the same theme.
Well, it's similar in that it's sort of this sort of geopolitical situation, but it's also, you know, limited to the Versailles Conference. So it's not trying to like encapsulate I think the trouble with Imperial Struggle is that there's so much going on in that period that you have these fascinating topics that are worthy of having large and elaborate games of their own are literally reduced to this little mini thing that you do 4 times during the game, right? And I think it also, and I know that historically the topic has been written in this way of the second 100 years war, the century or so long struggle between Britain and France, but there's a lot of other stuff going on in that period. And we are not in a bipolar situation in that period, right? And I didn't feel like that was particularly reflected in the game either. I would like to circle back to it because this is why I didn't do a review, because I don't believe I've played it enough to have enough information. But I did not have a positive impression of it. But Versailles 1919 is much more focused in its mechanics, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't have 100 years worth of stuff going on and the rise of Prussia and Frederick the Great and all this other stuff happening that we just kind of ignore. It's focused on that Versailles Conference and what comes out of it. So it's less heavy mechanically. It's really very simple mechanically. And I did get a sense from playing it, from what I played of it, that it is doing a good job of bringing forth that theme.
Right.
So if we're talking about 2020 releases, that's pretty much what I have to say.
Have you played the mission, by the way? Have you got to play that yet?
I have not. I set it up and then had to move. So literally that was the plan. I'm going to set this up, and I think I can get it all done in a couple of days, right? That didn't happen. So then I had to tear it down and move. It was on the shelf behind me up until yesterday. It has migrated up to the filming area now. So because it's one of the things on the short list of things to make video about. It looks
really
neat.
Interested in that. Yeah, really interested in that.
It looks really neat.
Didn't another YouTuber do a playthrough of that?
Yeah, Wayne Hansen.
Wayne,
yes.
Yeah.
Did he do a whole game? I didn't think he did a whole game.
No, he did most of it.
Okay.
He did the whole first Jihad one, but he didn't do all of the missions.
Okay, because I got that too, and I would like to do some video on that as well. There's all kinds of things I would like to do video on that never it seems to materialize. So,
how is the new setup? You're going to be able to? You think you're going to like the new setup you got?
So, I mean, from a content creator, I have basically a table. I can set up a map and some off-map displays and stuff. I can't really set up anything bigger than that. But honestly, anything bigger than that I would want to make video on, I'd be better off using Vassal anyway, right? And I'm not going to set up Case Blue, which I just got, but I would use Vassal for that anyway.
One right in there.
Just just these things just happen to me. Whereas, a copy of Case Blue has arrived. Must be Tuesday. So seriously, I'm sitting here. So my buddy in Colorado has all these games I'm selling for him, and I'm going through them all, making sure they're complete or whatever. I'm literally going through his games. And there's a knock on the door, like you guys just heard. And I'm like, okay, I get up, open the door, and there's a box on my porch that looks like it contains like a microwave, a large microwave. And I'm like, what's that? And it's that guy who sent me Case Blue and GB2, wrapped up in about 40 counter trays. So that's why the enormous box. So I'm going to be going through it for at least a month.
Uh-huh.
just to verify it's all there and organize it and try and get it all in the 3-inch boxes, which is not going to happen. So at the end of that, I probably will have another copy of Guderian's Blitzkrieg 2 to sell. I don't need 2 copies of it.
Right.
But it's a great game if you haven't played.
But you're gonna have a second video and some more games you're selling, or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna sell whatever. I'll do another video probably in the second week of January. Is my vague idea with the other stuff of my buddies. The rest of the stuff that I have, there's a couple things that didn't make it into the video, and then hopefully I'll have the Guderian's Blitzkrieg situation worked out by then, and I can put that in there too.
Cool.
So
excellent. Tony, you're being kind of quiet. What's up?
Oh, I just got an email from Worthington Publishing about all this stuff that's coming out. I've had a few things from them, but they always kickstart everything and don't like give good prices on it. And they
don't send me emails.
I just got one. Just got it.
I just checked it. I didn't get an email. They didn't send me anything.
You're not big time like Tony.
I guess not.
Wow. I haven't even filled. I have 2 games from them. I have Wilderness Empires, which I played and I actually did like. It was fun, which is a block game. I have actually both, and I have one of the 1812 games, the Battle of the Chesapeake. I think is the one I got, and I haven't even touched it. But the map is beautiful on it, and I need to actually touch it. I need to actually look at it. It came with a book that has all the history in it and the rules, and so
that's always nice to see.
Yeah, they actually did some pretty good job on that.
When do you think of your second playthrough of Tony?
Yeah.
Your second playthrough of what's the name of it? God, it's
Nemo's War?
Yeah, Nemo's War. Couldn't think of the name of it. What'd you think? You played it once, then you played it again. Yeah. What'd you think the second time through?
I want to play it again. I want to play it again. Yeah, it's quick to set up. One, it was quick to take down, so one of my pet peeves. But I want to play it again because it's like, okay, the first one I didn't survive because I had too many boats, too many enemy ships out. This one I survived. Spoiler warning, didn't do as well as I wanted as I thought I was doing. So I really want to play it again. Like if I played another couple more times, I could definitely review it. The only problem is I could only review it playing it was one motive because there's 4 different motives. Actually, there'll be 6 now with the expansions that came out on Kickstarter. But I could only review it as one motive because I haven't played the other one, so I don't know how the other ones play. There's just so much to that actual game that I really enjoyed it, and I almost didn't want to take it off, but I want to get SPQR on the board because I've been saying I want to do that for so long that it's time to shit or get off the pot.
Is that still on the Kickstarter then?
Yep. Yep. I did get the expansion, and you can actually late pledge and get the whole shebang for like $85. So that's a full game plus the expansion plus the other 3 mini expansions.
So one of the things that Worthington has in the pipeline, and I don't know if their Kickstarter for this I think it has actually ended already, is their new version of Soviet Dawn, which I knew that was going to come out because here's how I knew, because I bought the old one for $80 and then made video of it. And then like 2 weeks later, they announced, oh, by the way, here's a shiny new edition of it with a mounted map and stand-up.
Here's my problem with them doing this. So, because they did it with Magnificent Style as well. Mm-hmm. They are overcharging for the game.
All right. What is the retail price of that?
I don't know, but it was like $80. I thought even at $50, Magnificent Style, that's still too expensive. That game, I love that game, and I'm not saying it's bad. Please don't take it that way. But it's not a $50 game. There's not $50 worth of game in there. Soviet Dawn, there's not $50 worth of game there.
Interesting.
I love the game. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying it's a bad game. I think my problem with Worthington that I've run across is how overpriced they are.
So what's your metric for that? Are you saying that if it's a $50 game, you want to get at least 20 hours out of it, or 50 hours, or 10 hours?
You can replay. The thing is, you can replay them over and over again.
Right.
I'd have to see the components, because I have the Victory Point Games edition, which was a phenomenal edition.
Mm-hmm. But it was cheap.
Yeah, it was like $30, $35.
Okay.
And I've played it multiple times, loved it. I wouldn't pay $50 for it.
Because, I mean, I could see, if I think I'm only going to play it twice, I could see, because it's a 2-hour game, right? If not 1 hour.
Yeah, if not 30 minutes, depending on how badly you roll.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. I played my game of it, which I did video on, was I played it till the deck ran out. And so I think that was about as long as you could possibly take. And it took me 4 or 5 hours to do it, but I was filming it, and so it took twice as long. The actual playthrough time was something like an hour and a half. If I think I'm only going to play that 2 or 3 times, then I have to agree with you that that's probably too expensive. If I think I'm going to play it a dozen times, or if if a game takes 10 hours, then
to me, I just think it's more of a $30 to $40 game, not a $50+ game. That's my personal opinion, but I don't know. I got the Victory Point Edition games. I also, for the Soviet Dawn, I got the actual C3I edition.
Oh, that's the one I have,
which is really good.
Well, you get a whole magazine with it too.
Yeah.
So,
and that was like $30.
Well, I bought it like in the last year, so it was more for more than that for me. But and I don't regret spending the money necessarily, but I'm also not going to argue with your logic that says $80 for a new version of Soviet Dawn that's all fancied up is maybe too high a price. I think that's a reasonable position to take.
Yeah, this was a Kickstarter, and I've got to go because I've got to go pick up food for the evening.
Right.
For the dinner.
I knew you had to go soon, but
Yeah, but no, this is so I ordered the expansion, but for $29. If you scroll down, there's like a whole one. You can late back too, so you can still get the price. So
this is Victory Point Games, though, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This
I'm
is
a little sore.
new.
Still a little sore about that, but
yeah, I got you.
But that's not really. Doesn't really reflect anything about the new owners of Victory Point Games. They went and bought the company, and Alan sold it to him, and presumably he was happy with the deal. And the fact that they no longer want to publish the kind of games I want to play is their business. And I can't say it's a bad business decision, but it does mean that I deleted their bookmark on my web browser because I don't need to go to their website anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I will see everybody.
Oh, hey.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. See you later.
Yeah. Hey, Tony.
Thank God he's gone. Get a word in edgeways.
Thank God.
God, I hate to see what you guys say when I turn the microphone off.
We started early today because he had a family thing he had to get to. So we're glad you were able to jump in and
sure.
Say hi and
happy to stop in. I had plans today that I did too much already and couldn't execute anyway. So if I was just sitting here, why not do something?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know I emailed you a month or two ago and was like, hey, let's get on and talk sometime. And you're like,
yeah.
I just can't
and
do
I
it
think
right
that
now.
particular day, I think I was like out doing something at the time and I couldn't swing it. But today was a happy coincidence.
Yeah, that's always good. It's always good to talk with other people and hear their thoughts and opinions and get their take on things, and so that's always good. And Ruff is like got questions up the yin yang.
I've always got questions. I'm interested in the people who, the man knows a lot about games. I want to learn.
I know. I said
I'm not an expert on anything but games, to be completely honest.
So I've got questions,
and even experts don't know everything,
of course. But I'm saying it's great.
Questions. He's here now that we don't have Tony interrupting. So,
yeah, it's great to have somebody else's point of view rather than Tony and myself staid, dry, crusty ones.
That's right.
Yeah, ask any questions you have, peeps.
Yeah, I kind of missed some things there as I was.
23 people watching this nonsense. What's going on?
I think we're going to lose half of them because Tony's.
I kind of wanted to do. Speaking of what Wardrobe's saying about Worthington, I was kind of thinking about. I've just started thinking about this, about doing videos that are like company reviews, right? We could start with companies that don't exist anymore, like SPI or TSR or something. Like TSR was actually the one I kind of thought about starting with because it's easy to hate TSR, right? So after the dirty deed they did back in the day,
Yeah.
so. But talking about all the dirt, about those companies, not dirt necessarily, but giving, opinions about those companies as publishers. But then when we get to like current publishers, then, is that going to become too hot button? Is it going to be a problem if we say, well, GMT sucks? Or is it going to be more like a history of SPI, which would require an enormous amount of research to get done? And to not, have inaccuracies in it. Now, there's sources for SPI specifically, but less so with TSR for their from the wargaming side. For role-playing stuff, there's books about that.
Yeah. But it's easy to chuck dirt, isn't it? So,
yeah, and I don't want to do, there's a reason I don't do videos about games that I hate. I thought about it. Hey, maybe I should do a video about games that I hate. And I was like, no, I don't want that kind of, I don't want to be that guy, right?
Yeah, because somebody out there will love it, and
yeah.
And that's great. That's the thing. And imagine
maybe
I don't not talking about the negative and the positive because I think it helps people see both sides of the coin. Because maybe not everybody agrees with everything I say, but at least they hear a different perspective because. There's been several times in our show we've talked about the fact that people bring up a certain topic and everyone loves it, everyone loves it, everyone loves it. But then we talk about the other side of the coin that nobody else talks about. And I'm not going to get into specifics right now, but we've run into issues where there's problems and nobody else sees it because nobody else talks about it.
Sometimes there's problems aside from the game publications of a game publisher too. And that's a topic I don't really necessarily want to do a video on. Again, because I don't want to come off. It's not that I don't want to come off any particular way. It's just that I don't want to focus on that kind of stuff. It is my job is to show that that's how I started doing this in the first place. Actually, was at Origins to demonstrate with photographic evidence that people are still playing war games at Origins every year. And now nobody's playing anything at Origins because it's canceled. But and to kind of share the joy of the hobby, right? So it's a neat idea, and I might do something on the Spitzer era because I think it's an interesting era. There were some, Richard Berg designed some games for TSR during that period. A couple of other people designed some games for TSR during that period, including a couple of people who had no wargaming design experience. The guy that designed Star Ace and Time Master for Pace Setter, 2 RPGs, did the TSR version of Le Grand Armée, for example, which is a completely different game than the old SPI Le Grand Armée. They just reused the title. A couple of those games, I think, hold up fairly well. The ETO and PTO games, I know Decision redid them in much more elaborate editions, which someone is now doing video on, by the way. But I think those games actually stood up. The TSR versions of those games actually stood up pretty well. Their versions of like Wellington's Victory and Terrible Swift Sword are fine. A little ugly, but they're basically fine. And they even brought Antietam to the Great Battles of the American Civil War system with a Gleam of Bayonets, which has still not been covered by GMT.
Correct.
So I understand there might be something in development at some stage, but
that'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, it's a cool battle. Actually, it's a really interesting battle. Next thing we're going to see in that series will be Shiloh, which probably will be out in 2021, and which is also something I'm looking forward to.
Maybe if I watch as many as I can, I might get a sort of itch to do an ACW game down the road, maybe.
So, I mean, you'd have to. So, I actually was not into American Civil War at all. Like, I had owned a few games here and there, but had never played anything. And then I made a tragic error and played For the People. And now I am a huge American Civil War wargamer, and I have quite a few books on the American Civil War. So, if I guess from that experience, if I was going to recommend an American Civil War game for somebody that has no experience in or necessarily interest in the American Civil War, I would say play For the People.
Okay. Okay, right. I may well take you up on that, Hardwolf. Maybe yes.
Does anybody? Kid actually is asking a great question here. There's a few designers where he'll always look at what they're doing, but it doesn't mean it's an auto buy. Do either of you have designers that you will automatically buy whatever they do regardless? Because I don't. I think I do have one, actually.
I wouldn't say designers. More, I do like systems, right? Like the Command and Color systems.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, that's easy though. You're just following that system, right?
Right.
I mean, I got a pile of those.
Right.
The Berg system, isn't it? So
yeah. But I'm not necessarily going to buy everything just because of the designer's name. But I'm different, so.
I don't. I mean, there's a number of designers that I like their stuff a lot, and I will always give some consideration. Like Mark Herman, I'll always take a look at something Mark Herman wants to do and thinks is worth publishing. But that doesn't mean I've bought all of Mark's games in the last few years. The one that I didn't buy is Fort Sumter. I bought the digital version, and I'm not going to play it again. I played it 3 or 4 times, beat it, and don't need to play it again. But it's just it's not where I'm at as a gamer. That's all. Mark Simonich. Everything Mark Simonich has done in the last 7 or 8 years I have bought, and everything he has coming down the pipeline, I will buy. So
and we got Simonich, Jensen, Mark Herman. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, there's only 3, 4 top-notch, in my opinion, top-notch war game designers anyways. So it's for my style of games, I should say.
Never thought about it in those terms. That's an interesting way to put it.
yeah.
I mean, there's definitely people. I pay attention to what Mark Herman's doing, Mark Simonich, Vance Von Voorhees, although Vance hasn't done anything lately. Ted Racer has done a large number of very interesting games, for example. Anything that comes out, but then we start getting into systems, right? Like the Great Campaigns of the American Civil War. Whatever they would like to do, I will be happy to buy it.
Right. See, that's why I'm more of a system.
Yeah, OCS, whatever.
Just
Just
the point system,
me.
and originally the first 4 were all by Volkel, and then they branched out after that, and so I don't have all the rest of them. But I mean, just because it's by a different guy doesn't mean I'm not going to get it, because it's still like one of my favorite systems.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, my favorite. I haven't played them all, and there's more that I haven't played than those I have. But my 2 favorites are not ones Volko did. So, Liberty or Death or Pendragon.
2 I haven't played.
So,
I think for me as well, it's more systems. I mean, I've not played any Simonich games, but I've got some on order, and I dare say once I play them, I will be hooked. GBOH has tickled me fancy. So again, anything that comes out with that or has been reprinted, I think I'll go for that. And the 40 or the 4X Simonich games, I think I'm going to like those as well, even though I've not played one yet. So I think it's more systems, because my paltry collection is a hodgepodge of game designers, but it's the game that attracts me rather than who's designed it. If, say, Herman's designed it, Herman Luckman or Mark Herman, yeah, I'll have a look. You know, I'll have a look at David Thompson. I'll have a look at this, have a look at that. But the game itself has got to grab me, and it's more systems, I think, with me, like with Jester.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at too. Lock and Load Publishing mentions Eric Lee Smith, and he's actually designing stuff again. I know he's got a couple of things, at least 2 things in the pipeline for Compass. If we don't know, there's his game Battle Hymn from Compass, which is the Battles of Gettysburg and Pea Ridge using the same system. There's a volume 2 coming. There's a PC version of the Gettysburg available. It's called Gettysburg: The Tide Turns. It is an exact reproduction of that game, same map and everything, but it's just Gettysburg. It's not Pea Ridge, and it's certainly not anything in volume 2. And it's pretty great as a PC, you know, light PC war game type of thing. The one it's on Steam. It's called Gettysburg: The Tide Turns. It's the PC version. I think there might be a mobile version too, but I don't play mobile games, so I don't know. His legendary Civil War game from Victory Games is coming back from Compass as well. And my I think recollection says that that's going to be more or less a straight reprint with new graphics. I am, as somebody who owns the old one, I will totally buy a new version of that, just for the new graphics, because the counters in the old one are frankly dreadful. And the map's no prize either, but it's, you know, it's 1983. What do you want?
Yeah, yeah.
But the counters, I mean, the map is not beautiful by modern standards, but it's fine. I can read it. The counters I have a hard time reading because they're tiny print. Contrast is bad. But so, yeah, I'll totally buy a new version of that. And I was delighted to hear the news that was happening.
See, I do envy you guys over across the pond, because you've got all these companies that are, compared to me, just down the road. I know you're a big country.
Well,
I'm saying postage-wise, it's much easier. I do
yeah.
envy.
Yeah, certainly board wargamers in Europe have hurdles that we don't normally have to deal with from most publishers here in the U.S. However, I mean, GMT has second chance. Their deal with second chance games.
That's why I've got 3500s on the go.
I know there's places to get games from most major publishers in Europe. The folks who are really getting stuck in the shorts are folks in Australia, New Zealand. Yeah. They're just hosed. They're stuck unless it's from Harry Rowland. They're just hosed.
Yeah.
So, and even that comes from Europe ultimately.
Yes, not for a war game, another a good place to be.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple French publishers. There's Hexasim, as Heth Will mentions.
Yeah,
and there's a couple Italian publishers.
There's also the German publisher, Volker. Crikey, who did Frederick and Crossing the Line.
Oh,
Buka Simulations. Yeah.
Okay, and there's that Polish publisher too, but their games are in Polish, so I don't know anything about them other than they've got relatively noteworthy covers.
They look good. They look very small, compact, very small boxes, but I believe they do the rules in English. I think you have to ask.
Oh, they might. They might. I've just never looked into that.
There's another Polish company that will do English. I've got a couple of their games. So yeah, there's a few.
Mm-hmm.
But the big names, of course, Compass, GMT, Lock and
Yeah,
Load.
but we don't have a problem, right? I mean, all those like Thin Red Line Games, right? They've got somebody here in the U.S. to ship from the U.S. We here in the U.S. don't have to take it in the shorts getting their games, right? Assuming you got your order in on time before all the copies evaporated. Hexasim is the same way. You can get their games from GMT.
Ah, right.
So we don't have like Multiman. I know in Europe.
Yeah.
In the UK, very difficult to get Multiman stuff because they don't have a deal with Second Chance War Games, Second Chance Games, or whoever it is.
Second Chance, yeah. And I was trying to get, when they had their, not this sale, the sale before, they were selling Operation Mercury for $40. I'll have some of that, I thought. Clicked on it, and they wanted $90 for shipping. So
That's just shipping or the total cost with shipping?
No, that's just shipping.
It is a heavy game, but
$9, I think it was. Yeah.
yeah, you probably would have been better off buying 10 copies of it and then reselling them and making your shipping costs back by reselling them. But wait, I'm already seeing those games now getting sold on the secondary market for $120 again, which is still a substantial discount from retail.
Yeah, so I'll wait. Oh, somebody put back Lock and Load Publishing, and if David's still here, it's arrived. It's in the UK.
Yeah, look at that. Oh yeah.
Right, there we go. Plug over.
So you didn't just go to get the print the PDF then?
It would
cost
as much to do that as it would be to.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So is it cheaper to ship books?
I don't know, actually, because we've got this. I've got this thing about shipping and tax. I got myself a pair of those metal blooming clippers because the other ones. I go on about this every week, and they'll be moaning again. I had 2 pair of the snow shovels, and exactly the same thing happened to them both, as they usually do. Snap.
Mm-hmm.
Repaired it as per the YouTube video with the screw down the top and all that, and that snap. So I got the old metal ones. I had to get them from Oregon, Portland, Oregon, in the US of A. And they were $21.95. Not a bad price, I thought. But it cost me, I think, $27 to send it. Okay, I said I'll swallow that because these are supposed to last forever.
They will. I will tell you that I did a whole video on this.
Yes.
Again, but you will probably find that every 10,000 counters or so, you will need to take them apart and clean them with like WD-40 and maybe put some light machine oil inside it.
You can get them apart, can you?
Yeah, all you got to do. There are.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. There's a nut right here and a nut right here. You just take those off, take the screws out, and the whole thing will come apart.
Right. Okay. I'll if I have trouble, I shall contact you. But I didn't get charged it. But on the label, it said I had to pay VAT and all this sort of thing. Another £14, 14, quid, which the postman just handed it to me. Luckily, I don't think he realised. But yeah, it's very expensive getting stuff over from America, even a small little package like that.
Yeah, which is hilarious because they're made in China.
Yeah.
So
if I could get them from China, from that company that makes them and sends them to Oregon, I would do that.
They are on. I can tell you, I don't have the link offhand. They are online, and you can get them directly from that company.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
because I'm not sure. Sometimes they're copies of copies, and
that's true. And I would be concerned about that, especially with the deluxe clipper, just because it does have such a tremendous propensity to break.
It's the plastic. Why don't they use it? It's so simple, isn't it?
It's not even that it's plastic. It's that it's hollow. It's not even solid plastic. It's hollow at that particular point where all the stress in the entire device goes.
Or make it metal.
Yeah. Now there are people who said, "Hey, I've clipped 20,000 counters with mine, and it's never broken. It's holding up great." So I think what it is just inconsistent manufacturing standards. They use different batches. They source batches of plastic from different places.
The plastic quality. That's what I believe. Yeah. But anyway, that's my sorry. Every week it crops up. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm pleased I've got them.
It is a peak war gamer to start talking about counter clipping.
They get fed up. The listeners get fed up because we're on it.
Oh, I love tweaking the people. I can't. I want you guys clip your counters.
Yeah, and that's fair. Again, that's fair enough. Some people don't ever clip. Some people, like me, have to clip. Yeah.
So I had never heard of that before. I might have mentioned this in the video, and I might not have. I had never heard of that until about 1992, when I was over. I was over at somebody who I had just met. I saw like a posting for an RPG thing that I wanted to do on a bulletin board at the hobby shop. So I called the guy we talked to. I went over his place, and eventually we started talking about ASL because he's a big ASL guy. and he was actually one of the original ASL playtesters. And his counters were clipped, and I'm like, "What's up with this?" It's like, "Oh, yeah, it makes them easier to handle." And since then, now, and these were like badly mangled stop signs, right? But,
nail clippers.
but yeah, so I mean, and that's what you had at the time was nail clippers, right? And you know, you don't have to clip them like that. Since then, I've clipped everything, right? Even like when I started getting back into war games, the first thing I did was go through the games I still had and clipped and organized those.
The first game I ever got, the first game I ever got when I got back into this, I clipped with a nail clipper. I wish I hadn't, but I felt I had to, and that was Fields of Fire. So. And I've tried to put them into the clipper and see if they'll. No, I've done it too much, so the clipper's not working.
So that's another one of those manufacturing tolerance questions that I have for the manufacturer of these. I've got all three sizes, right? There's actually a 5mm tube that's too big for counters.
I have a quick question. Which one of the game manufacturers makes that?
Makes what?
That clipper?
The clipper?
Yeah.
These are from Oregon Laminations. Don't you have one of these?
It's winding you up, Hardy. Careful.
So the slot.
That was my inside joke there.
So I'm completely clueless when it comes to getting stuff like that.
You need to show up to our show more often and listen.
I'll be happy to. Just that it send me invitations like after, before an hour after the show starts. There's a machined slot in this thing. Actually, I suspect that this particular part of this device is cast and not machined. And so the slots are all different sizes. There are like the thicker GMT counters that we see a lot of now do not fit in the 3mm clipper. They fit in this one, not the 3mm one, which is too bad because if they're super big counters, I want to use the bigger clipper on them.
Which is why I got the 2.5.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to buy one, get the 2.5. I clip everything, and I'm anal, so I ordered all.
I cannot not clip. But yeah, look at Chester's face. We've set him off now.
I've been on my best behavior.
I've seen whole streams where you're just clipping counters happily.
No, don't start.
You'll have forearms like I do, where you look like Popeye. I'm gonna get some anchors tattooed on these forearms because they're so
one of my points, and I will drop it after this, but one of my points is if we have 10, 12 game manufacturers making games that need clipped, why cannot not one of them actually create a device that's specifically designed to clip counters?
Well,
my point is if they're selling a product, they want the customer demand to get the clipped counters. Why is there not one company that is creating the device to make it easier for their customers
every week
to clip counters?
So the answer to that is that we are talking about game publishers and not hand tool manufacturers.
Every week, Hardy. Every week. I get this every week. Me and Tony. We have to go through this every week, and the audience.
A lot of things like from GMT that they're doing now, a lot of the games they do, not the super groggy stuff necessarily, are pre-rounded. Sure. Yeah. I mean, if your game comes with 400 counters, you can do that. If your game comes with 1,600 counters, it's harder to make that work and make it economical. And of course, David has a 1,500 counter game coming with pre-rounded corners. So he is literally proving me wrong and making me look bad, even as I say this. By the way, David, when is our Trial of Strength coming along? Since you're in the chat.
He's gone quiet now.
So, yeah, that might cause him to go check the schedule. No, I mean, I don't disagree with the point of at the same time, it's like if let's say you're a miniatures player, right? And part of the hobby is the playing of the miniatures games, but part of the hobby is the making of the terrain and the painting of the miniatures and all that, hubbub. And personally, I find it relaxing to clip counters. I sit here and watch TV. I watch if John Longshore's still in the chat, he
doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Just let him ramble on. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. It's enjoyable to sit there and clip counters. And it's so nice. And they don't mind doing it. That's bull.
No, he was taking the mickey out of me because I say I put music on and you know, put some music on, clip counters. You look at the kill. That's a nice counter. Yeah, it's sad. Yes, I understand that. Very sad, but we are sad as war gamers.
So pretty now.
Lovely.
So pretty now.
Yeah,
I have a tendency to call unclipped counters uncircumcised counters.
Yes, it's fuzzy, fuzz.
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, it's like I said, it's so let me ask in that typical Heroes, is that Heroes of the Motherland?
Yeah.
So how many counters come in Heroes of the Motherland?
Lots. I'll let you. Hold on. I have it too.
Okay.
550 plus. That means it's 552.
That's a lot. See, David, you're making all the other publishers look bad for not pre-rounding their corners.
I clip those though.
Oh, you clip you clip those too?
Yeah. No, okay. I'm joking. No.
Would I guess
Some people do. But no,
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I was big a booster of counter clipping, as you're gonna find, and I'm not double clipping manufacturer.
No, of course not. There's no need to. But
now I have gotten games like secondhand games, and where they do a shabby job of clipping and reclipped the counters.
Oh,
I've done that.
You've got to. Yeah. I did find with this though, it's a little finicky. You've got to get used to it, haven't you?
Yeah, you do.
Unlike the snow shovel, where you just go bomb bomb. You have to sort of slide it in, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not going to convince us, Jester. You're not going to convince us. They're great.
I agree completely with him. Actually, it'd be great. I mean, from a lot of people don't like clipping counters. I'm a weirdo, but I also am not scared that I will run out of games to clip too. Right. So even if all my publishers started pre-rounding all their corners tomorrow, I would still be buying stupid stuff that SPI did in 1979, and I would still have plenty of counters to clip.
There's lots out there to clip.
For my Zen relaxation process.
Yes. We'd have to go retro, which is what I'm doing lately.
Yeah.
So, there's always games out there.
Yeah, so I might have
entitled to their opinion. No matter how wrong you guys are, you can absolutely have your opinion.
He's doing what we said we don't do, Ardy. We're pushing an opinion that we think is right.
We are being incredibly mild about our absolutely correct opinion.
Everyone's entitled, no matter how wrong you are. You're entitled to your opinion.
See what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, I'm going to take him off my.
But here. I don't even know if I want to. Here's the thing.
Go on then.
We had David Heath on a couple weeks ago.
What a nice.
We found out the real reason about the rounded corners.
Okay.
So I'm not going to spoil it, but we know the inside information straight from the man.
I figured it was because David doesn't like to clip corners, and that's completely reasonable. That's why Mark Herman's games all have rounded corners now, because Mark doesn't like to clip corners. So. Although I suspect Pacific War will, in fact, not be. Its 11 counter sheets will not be pre-rounded.
And they'll be sort of like 3mm square things, won't they? We need to make.
No, that's not the reason.
I think everybody should be putting their counters on that wood-like stock that Blue Panther uses. Actually,
well, that would be yeah. That's like MDF, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, I imagine it is. You can actually tear them apart but you really got to. You have to try. You can also round the corners if you like.
Sorry?
You can also round the corners if you like.
Yeah, but you have to use a rasping saw, a rasping
belt grinder was what I was thinking, but
yeah, belt grinder. Yeah.
My point is, it's not that I am against clipping for all the reasons, but the game manufacturers have done nothing to make it easier for their customers to be able to do this. We're using some device that's not even for counter clipping to try and make our counters look nicer.
Yes, for scrapbooking.
And we have got to literally use a snow shovel, or we got to use this other device that will, as you mentioned, make your forearms look like your Popeye, because the game manufacturers, they don't see a need for it.
Well, it's an optional step that you take too. Not everybody. So my buddy, who I got all this stuff from, who I'm selling games for now, none of that's clipped. He doesn't do it. The only games of his that were clipped were games that we played that I and my buddy at the table who clipped said, you know, we're not savages. We're going to clip this thing as we go.
I think that's the right words there, Aardwolf. Savages. Yeah. It's gone quiet now. Look. Yeah.
It's just bad.
Everybody gets to make these decisions for themselves. It's the great thing about our hobby. You can decide you don't want to deal with the clips.
It's not a great thing for the hobby. That's part of my point. That's part of why you weren't here for my little discussion earlier.
We've had this discussion
before. When I can get this game, right, and go and open the game and be playing it in 5 minutes, and then my buddy says, hey, let's play a war game. And I go, sure, I've got an hour. And he's like, oh no, it's going to take us at least an hour to set it up and organize it and do all this stuff that we need to do to get it ready. I say to my friend, screw you, dude. I can play this game instead, which hurts our hobby.
But for some people, clipping counters is part of the hobby.
Just like paint miniatures, making long trains.
And I don't love them any less.
You don't have to clip the counters. Well, so I mean, setup time is a different question, right?
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. It's the same thing. Game manufacturers could set their games up to be friendly, but they don't.
Here we go. See, you're picking on the wrong guy, Jester. See, you get away with me. I know nothing.
Let's take this as our example. This has something like 3,000 counters or something like that, right? This thing takes, I can vouch for this, this thing takes about 10 to 15 man hours to set up. Realistically, you're playing the whole thing.
They don't have a tutorial scenario?
Oh, sure. There's small scenarios.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So could they not have a tutorial scenario where they have a baggie with all your counters in it and another map that you're going to use just for the tutorial scenario, and you can be up and running in 5 minutes?
There are war games like that. I mean, they're not pre-punched.
That's what I'm saying. We need to have the games, all war games, to be able to be more user-friendly for anyone. You, me, somebody new coming to the hobby, anyone. I see what you're saying. Not all games are designed to be that way, and I agree with that. But game manufacturers could spend a little more time organizing it and creating it so it is more user-friendly, especially for new people.
If we are saying that game manufacturers could be doing more to decrease setup roadblocks to protect prospective players and make the games easier to set up and get playing immediately, then yeah, game manufacturers could be doing more to do that. No problem.
That's all I'm saying.
At the same time, there is a segment of the wargaming hobby, or of the wargaming hobby's output of games, that's just not reasonable. And those happen to be the kind of games that I play.
See, I can't think of a game that you couldn't create a smaller tutorial scenario.
Sure.
Just to get the player used to the game and the system, and just maybe even create like basic rules for it.
I'm sorry. Can I just say, I'm sorry, Aardwolf. I'm sorry. sorry, Ardy, and the
Nice,
audience. I'm sorry that this, you're going through this. The Pandora's box has once again been opened, and it was all because I mentioned these bloody things. And I do apologise. I'm so sorry.
To make a note to not bring up counter clipping in the future. But I mean, my first OCS game was the full scenario Case Blue. I mean, you just can't streamline that, right? I mean, are there smaller scenarios in the game? Yeah, sure there are. There's very small scenarios in the game, some of which are designed to introduce new players to the game. But as a player, you need to understand what you're getting into, right? I mean, if your choice as a wargamer is, I don't want to deal with that huge game, okay, that's a completely reasonable decision. I don't want to deal with the 20 counter sheets that are in this thing. It's only 2,800 counters. It's a mini game.
But then that's a problem with not having so many brick and mortar shops. You buy online, you click, you buy. If you go into a shop in the old days, you buy a game like that, you pick that up, and the guy behind the desk says, "Oh, you played this sort of thing before?" "No, it's my first war game." You may go,
yeah, but who's doing that though? I mean,
they don't do that anymore, do they?
Well, no, but I mean, even online. So online, I mean, that's two-sided, right? On the one hand, you don't have the opportunity to like physically pick the game up and ogle it before buying it. But on the other hand, you have the world's, greatest repository of information about all this stuff too.
Sure.
I go to Board Game Geek and say in an open forum, "Hey, I'm thinking about getting into this wargaming thing. What games would be good for me to?" And I'm guess some knucklehead's going to say Case Blue because that happens every single time somebody asks that question. But otherwise, you're going to get a lot of reasonable suggestions. And there are many introductory war games that don't take 20 man hours to set up, that don't take. And you can just, I mean, I know some people that like cut all their counters out of the counter sheets. You don't have to. You can just knock the counters out and be playing in 15 minutes. Do
you do that? Do you do that? No, you knock them all out, don't you?
I actually don't cut mine out unless there are center nibs. If there are center nibs, then I have to cut them out of the sheets because then.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you instead of just picking out the ones you want, you'll cut out. You'll.
Oh no! Yeah, that's too much trouble. I blow everything out, clip it all, organize it, and for forevermore after that point.
So you cut off the center nibs as well, because I said this the other day to Justin. He looked at me like he rolled his eyes. He went, "What? Oh, yeah." Even the load, I cut across the nibs.
Yeah,
on the center nibs because I didn't want them on there.
And I guess I just picked up 2 new Spitzer games. All their games had center nibs, so I just cut them off the sheet and then do the clipping, and it minimizes the impact of the center.
Nibness is the technical term, I believe.
The dinguses.
The nibness. Mm.
So
I know you're not a great Panzer Grenadier fan, and that's fair enough. I don't love you any less for that.
Yeah, and it just doesn't work for me.
No, that's fine. But they've got some of the newer games have got the center nibs as well. So if I get one with those, I'll just get the old knife out and slice across before I punch them out.
Laser cutting counters for a while.
Sorry,
wasn't Avalanche Press laser cutting counters for a while?
They've gone through several. I've got several different games from different eras. They've done everything from literally you can take the counter sheet to shake it and they all foul out, down to
a lot of new GMT games are like that, to be honest.
Cataphract
was like that. That's already punched and clipped and organized.
Gosh, what's the name of it? Airborne over Europe one was just like that.
Yeah, the Panzer Grenadier one.
No. The one from GMT.
Okay. Gotcha. I've heard a lot of good things about that system, and to the point where I would like to pick it up, and it's just not in the budget at this exact moment.
That's why I put it on P500 for the first box. But it's like 5 people have ordered it, so it'll be a while. So that's good for me. So when it's ready, I'll get it.
I'm and sometimes I end up paying more, but I generally don't have a problem finding out of print stuff either. Right. There's marketplace groups, there's eBay, but you sometimes have to lurk for years to get something for a non-idiotic price on eBay. But there's the Facebook groups just hanging around on Consim World. You can say, so this happened actually back when Stonewall Jackson's Way 2 was out of print, very hard to get. I just mentioned on a Consim World board that I was looking for a copy. Somebody messages me out of the blue, said, "Hey, I got a copy. I'll take $80 for it." I'm like, "Yep, sure, no problem." I've had it, played it several times now. Great game, one of my favorite games.
Yeah, so there's ways and means, I suppose, but
yeah, just involving yourself in the hobby or showing up at a convention sometimes. People will come with boxes of games. There was a guy that used to show up at, well, he still does this, but he hasn't done this in the last couple of years. Shows up with a whole trunk full of games to sell. And it's all like, you know, shrink wrapped stuff. So, which means he's buying too much, actually. Yeah. I don't buy anything that I don't have at least the intentions of playing. Now, sometimes that doesn't happen, and sometimes it doesn't happen for long enough that I end up getting rid of it. But I never buy anything that I don't think I'm going to play.
No, I don't think I'll ever. Not that I've got a huge collection, but I don't think if it gets huge that I will get rid of stuff unless it's something I think, no, I'm not going to play this again. This was not very good.
I got rid of all that stuff, and I got rid of a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have gotten rid of and had to buy again. So
yeah, but again, it's getting around to it. There's only a certain amount of hours in the day,
right? I haven't played this for a while. I'll get rid of it, and then next year you go, oh, you know what? I really wish I could play that, but I don't have a copy anymore, and you go out and get it again.
So I've done this with war games too, but there is a tabletop role-playing game called Ars Magica. Current publisher is Atlas Games, and it's still in print. I have bought, sold it, bought it again for I think a total of 4. I think I bought it the whole game a total of like 4 times. We're talking about like a main book and dozens of core books, like little expansion books. I'm not doing that again. I'm not doing that again. So if I buy it, it means I have the intention of playing it. If I unload it, it means I know I'm never going to play it again.
All right. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap up here in just a minute. If anyone has any last questions.
3 hours.
Anyone? It's been 3 hours. I can't put up with Ruff anymore.
I understand.
Even though it's our year anniversary, Aardwolf.
Yeah, we've been together a year. Don't show it.
Shall I show everyone again?
Flowers. It's getting weird. Chris Ridley wants to know where to get a copy of Under an Iron Sky. I'll tell you what to do. Wait until Thin Red Line releases a massive compendium of all 3 games.
It's going to cost a bomb, but you'll get them all, won't you?
It will cost as much as a subcompact car.
Yeah, I hope you can't find it.
Look at us! Ah, that was a year ago. Look at us.
I'm petrified. I keep saying, look at that. I'm petrified.
Look at that dude. He's like.
Now you're just excited.
I don't know. We got our little headsets on.
Do you think I had more hair there?
I'm not noticing a difference in the level of hair.
You rotter.
Look at, I'm still complaining back then. I'm still complaining.
I know.
There might have been more glare a year ago, however.
Yeah. Yes.
Swordsman's like, oh my God, do I have to listen to this for an hour?
He's shouting. He's obviously telling me off, and I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I'm just being talked at.
What he's talking about in the video clip right now is why game companies don't make it easier to clip the corners.
It was clipping. Back then. You can see, look at his face. You know he's talking about clipping.
He's got look at this.
I'm bringing this up every time from now on.
Oh my God. It's like, I'm like, why are you rolling your eyes? He's like, well, that's just what us what people over here in the blind do. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I can't understand a word you're saying. Talk English, man. I am talking bloody English, man.
That's the Queen's English.
Yes.
It's the Queen's English.
Do they even speak English in Florida?
Yes, we speak English.
Thank you.
They speak Florida man. That's what they speak.
Good grief.
So it's been a year.
But it is.
It's a wonderful year. It has really been nice. But Ruff had a really nice comment earlier about how he was so appreciative of meeting all the people out there in the wargaming community. And
sorry, I went a bit slushy.
He went a little slushy. I think he was trying to suck up to some people to try and hopefully get some freebies sent to him. And I'm over here shaking my head like, oh my gosh.
It was well meant, and it's good. It's great that I'm part of this community. You know, it's good. Even with you, Jester, that you've turned me into what I am today, and it's all thanks to you.
And I said, without me, there wouldn't be the mug, right? Because
take it off.
There wouldn't be the mug unless it was for me.
For that, I am eternally grateful. Things I have to do to get online.
Hey, you got 1,000 subscribers because of me, so you better be thanking me now, mister.
He got 1,000 subscribers by producing quality content.
No.
He might have gotten 1,000 subscribers
for the last year.
Because of you.
Carried his ass for the last year. He put out like one video a week for like 6 months, so...
One video a week represents a significant time investment.
A lot of time and effort.
I made 4 videos on Friday.
You do it live and
I keep wanting to do a live stream, and I turn YouTube on, and you're already live streaming, and I'm like, well, shit, I can't live stream tonight. He's doing it again.
No free space. There's no free space. You've taken it all the free space.
I monopolize YouTube, so nobody else can get on. That's the only way I guess.
All the oxygen.
Oh, I'm getting yelled at by the wife.
Oh, okay. I'm not surprised.
I'm being too loud. What?
Do you want to go with me?
Yeah. When are you going?
When can you grace me with your presence?
5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. 3 minutes. I'm getting rid of these losers anyways.
I have to order it.
Well, order it then.
It is way more important to keep her happy than to keep us happy.
Huh?
Happy wife, happy life.
Whatever. The large supreme thing. Whatever you normally get.
We've got 25 people watching. Don't get them, 25
disappointed, heartbroken people.
Heartbroken people, yeah.
They love me for me, and you guys are just riding my coattails. Or, second thing is, they love Art Wolf. Where is he? He's over here somewhere.
Yeah, we went from 5 viewers to 25 when he joined.
Art Wolf showed up. It went like people were like texting one another. Art Wolf, he's on. We gotta see what he has to say. Or maybe it's all Ruff's people over there that are.
Well, I don't know. Can you get those metrics to see if it's all Englishmen who are watching right now?
We do have quite a bit. We have like Mad Dog, Heathwell, John, I think. John Longshore is over in England.
No, he's not.
He's not
here.
He's not here?
Who else is over? Douglas is over there. I mean, we got like a whole crew of them over there. I guess without Ruff, we wouldn't have them. So I guess we should be a little more.
And all those English viewers. The sun never sets on the Ruff Swordsman Wargamer.
Don't call them English if they're from.
I think Mad Dog is English. I think Mad Dog is in Australia, or not Australia, Austria. I think he's from Austria. Paul Burns is Welsh. There you go. Chris Ridley's in England.
I think he's in Portugal.
Kabuba Kid, he's in
British. Don't you call?
He's in Australia. We go worldwide here.
And Viper Dave's been to London, so there you go.
Viper Dave,
he's been to London. Yeah,
I went to an Irish pub.
Any last comments, suggestions, thoughts for people, for Ruff, for me, anything you want to know? You got about 3 minutes, guys, before we got to go. So if you got any last words for Art Wolf, any questions? Hey, Art Wolf, Buckeye Game Fest, they going to have it this year?
Up in the air, I would say. I mean, no announcement has been made. My expectation, to be completely transparent, my expectation is that mid-year events are toast. Late year events, of which for Wargamers, Buckeye Game Fest is kind of the first one, might still happen. So stuff like Buckeye Game Fest, Compass Expo, there's another one late in the year. Those things might happen. Buckeye Game Fest is the earliest of those. So it has the least chance of happening. If I had to bet money, my money, I would bet that it was going to get canceled.
When does what's the other one?
WBC? That is in July. That's I don't think, like, again, I'm unaware of any announcement having been made. This is my hunch.
That would be the one I would get on a plane for.
This was supposed to be my year to go to WBC, actually, and the whole year just went into the toilet in like 5 different ways, and only one of which is the fact that there's a worldwide plague raging, killing millions of people. Everything just went in the toilet. This was going to be my year to go. It didn't happen. It's sounding like next year is an unreasonable ask as well for mid-year events, like I said.
So going to be 2022, you reckon? Hopefully
2022, I guess. Same thing with Consim World. Consim World is normally in June or July.
Well, that'll give me time to pay off all my P500s then for the airfare.
Yeah, there you go. All your extra copies of Operation Mercury.
Yeah.
You can sell those off.
Yeah, wish I had. But yeah, that's the one I wanted to go to. Yeah, WBC. Yeah.
It's
smallish and very.
Oh, it's not that small.
World,
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the biggest gathering of Wargamers, actually.
Too many tournaments. I mean, if you want to go and play tournaments, that's great.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's much better because it's less organized. You just get to do what you want to do. You talk with the people. You have a good time. It's not all this pressure. Oh my God! I've got at 3 o'clock. I got a match today, so I can't do anything. So
never having been to WBC, bear this in mind. It's my understanding is that it is very tournament oriented, which doesn't mean that everything that happens there is a tournament. Not everything is, but it's very tournament oriented. And as a wargamer, that's not really what I'm into either.
No,
it's in Seven Springs. It's no longer in Lancaster. Apparently,
that's what I heard, and it's not as crammed as some other conventions.
That's like 3 hours from here. So this year was supposed to be my WBC year, and then last year I was going to go for a day, and the air conditioner in my car broke, and the windows broke, so the windows didn't roll down anymore. So, and it was like in the middle of July. So I'm like, well, I could drive 3 hours in a car with no air conditioning and the windows don't roll down in July, or I could get that fixed.
That's the UK.
Yeah. Well, if I was in the UK, this probably wouldn't have been an issue.
That wouldn't have been an issue.
Yeah. I mean, this is Ohio. I could have just broken the window out and then taped a garbage bag over it when I got there.
And it would have fitted in well. Yeah. It would have melded into the background. Yeah.
You're killing me. Well, guys. 3 hours, 12 minutes, and 20 seconds later, it's time to say good night,
all right,
my friends.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back next week, though, so don't cry too long.
Sorry.
We'll be back. We'll be better than ever. We'll try to do better next time. I know I will.
And before you go, Steeler fan says thanks, but the initials for the game system confuses him. So we've got to watch out for that for other peeps that don't know their SCS from their OCS.
From their GTS, from their CSS.
Yeah, it sounds a bit, sorry.
ACW to their GB ACW to the DVOH to the, oh boy.
Excuse me, got coughs all of a sudden. Anyways, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans that came by. Richard, Heathwell, Mad Dog, Kadami Kid, Publishing, Steeler Fan, 1933, Chris Riley, Douglas Gearhart, John Longshore, Richard Kerr, Brian Gosher. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm not British. I don't know. Paul Burns, Viper Dave, Wardrobe plays World War II. Check out his new logo. He's going to change it by next week. So if you want to see his new logo, you have till Monday to get with him. Who else are we talking about? Who else are we missing? Who?
Richard Kerr, thank you.
Richard, Chris Riley. OG was here earlier.
He gets
He
bored.
stick around. Desert One was here. And I can't go back any farther because we've been going for too long. So everyone that came by, we do appreciate very, very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And we appreciate Art Wolf Lair. Be sure to check out his game sale. You got a few more?
Most of it's gone. All the good stuff's gone. All the stuff's gone. It's the stuff from there's one Clash of Arms, several Decision games, and several 3Ws. Okay. I'll have another video. I'll probably pull the video backstage actually in the next day or so, and just put everything back up in early January after the holiday.
All right, until next Saturday, guys. Everyone have a good week. Keep gaming. Have fun.
Thanks for putting up
guys in.